Happy Monday, everybody. I wasn't sure shouting that, as I normally do, fits with the song. Are you all ready to have your heart broken? I'm dreading it. I'm actually kind of wishing I was going to be playing The First Descendant today. I think I've made a terrible mistake, Michael, but we're going to figure this out together. Let's hit the buttons here. Greetings, friends, and welcome back to another episode of DreamWizard Plays number 821. Lucy. The eternity she wished for. 10th anniversary. What? Look at that on the screen. Game released in 2016, and I only heard about it recently, and it went on sale for like cheap. And I think it may even be on sale cheap right now, like 70% off of $9.99. So you can get it for like $3, and you might want to do that to have your own experience with it. Leah's in the chat, says good morning. Good morning to you too. Good Monday evening, Ben. Also keeping me posted on the First Descendant news. In 2 hours, Dev's having a live. This is not the normal day for that, is it? What are they doing? Why going live on a Monday? What's happening? I mean, maybe they do this more often than I know. Maybe this is a thing why are we talking about The First Descendant? It just came up in conversation. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I am, of course, your humbly hirsute host, the eponymous, anonymous, hip-hop-opotamus, wannabe Nostradamus, Benjamin the Dream Wizard, and I welcome you to the stream. Let's do the housekeeping here. Would you kindly like, share, and subscribe? Tell your friends, jump into the chat right now on Rumble and YouTube. Leave a like and a comment on the X platform, and I'll stop by later and say hello. Go through the buttons here. This episode brought to you in part by Dreamscapes number 198, Uncharted Waters. What does that title have to do with the episode? You're going to have to watch and find out. I think the mystery will be fairly readily resolved by your cursory investigation. There's another Asian word I was going to put in there, but I can't remember. That's okay. Full video on YouTube and Rumble, audio only MP3. Wait, you got to do it this way. Right here at BenjaminTheDreamWizard.com, and probably at one of those podcasting platforms of your preference. This episode also brought to you in part by ABC Book 7, Tyrion's Dreams and Visions. It is the documentation, so to speak, of one Thomas Tyrion, student of physics, in his work at the St. Bethlehem Hospital in the late 1700s, turn of the century into 1800. St. Bethlehem Hospital, also known as Bedlam. And yes, indeed, the origin of that phrase, it's Bedlam. It's a madhouse, because St. Bethlehem Hospital was indeed, at least one wing of it, a mental health hospital back in the day, a madhouse, as they would have called it. He was one of the earliest advocates for patient rights and proper diet and healthy living for proper mental health, but also in a kind of a religious context, as were most people at the time. So all this and more at BenjaminTheDreamWizard.com. Click on the books tab, scroll down a little bit, Follow the Amazon link. You're good to go. This episode also brought to you in part by Silence and Tears, poetry by G.G. Lord Byron. It's George Gordon Lord Byron, from written in 1816. Set to the anime music video of Kizu Monogatari. And if you have not watched the Monogatari series, I cannot recommend it highly enough. Of course, more music on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, at Real AI Radio. Let's see. Lee says Inez and Viesa reworks and the new game mode. Oh, nice. Is that coming? They're giving us a heads up on what's dropping Thursday or next season. I mean, I think I'll be back on Thursday. I think this game's only going to take 2-3 days. And then when it's over, back to the First Descendant. That's the nice thing about having kind of an ongoing game, is there's less stress on me to time games just so, and have a plan for what happens if I finish early. If I finish early, I just go back to the First Descendant, sometimes in the same night. Why not? Thursday. Indeed. Nice. That is perfect timing. Great time for me to take a break, play something else. And here's the thing too. I had a feeling as I was starting the stream, I kind of miss the First Descendant. I would kind of rather be playing that. And I could. Right now I could drop everything and just say fuck it and go back to it. I'm not going to do that because I already advertised this is the thing. It's the thumbnail. We're doing this. That said, it's a good feeling to have. I'm not, oh God, another day on the First Descendant. I'm like, oh, I kind of miss it already. It's been a whole weekend. I haven't gotten to play. I had other things to do. And a little bit of active denial. So that's kind of why I think a lot of people participate in No Nut November and Sober October. It's a little active denial. Just say, there's something I want, but I don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to moderate a little bit. We're going to do something else instead. It's a great thing. Last but not least, of course, if you'd head on over to benjaminthedreamwizard.locals.com, get your hands on the custom cocktail recipe for this right here, the DreamWizard's Portland Ghetto Cooler. And if you have a beverage of your own ready to hand, you would like to raise a glass along with me, please do so now as we recite the toast. Here we go. Ein Prosit der Gemütlichkeit. Nostrovia. Kanpai. Salud. Cheers to you. And here's mud in your eye. Cheers in the chat from Lee, and that means it is time, of course, to get that stuff off the screen, get into the game. Now, you may have noticed crickets chirping. There's no game music. I have not started the game yet. We're doing this from scratch, the first initial launch, which might jack up everything because I never know how these things are going to be displayed. Hopefully it just fills my monitor properly and we don't have to worry about it. But there's very often, I've tried to do this more often, where it's not a complicated game where I don't have to set a bunch of buttons. Hopefully I'm going to try and play it with my controller. It should be as easy as pick options and move along with your life. And I don't want to worry about keys and everything. So we're just going to go, a controller if I can. I'm pretty sure it's a controller game. A lot of these were originally made for consoles. Certainly in Japan, console gaming, I think, is bigger than PC gaming in that regard. So PC gaming is often an afterthought or a conversion. What do they call it? A port. Yeah, that's not to be confused with the fortified wine. And so let's do the thing. Let's launch Lucy, the eternity she wished for, from 2016 for the very first time together. And it's a very small game. It took like 2 minutes to install. So shouldn't take that long to launch. Oh, we're going to get it in a browser window, are we? Okay. Disclaimer, this is a work of fiction. You don't say. You don't say. Well, they did say, as a matter of fact. All right, first things first, let's go to the options. Oh, I should be using my controller. Text speed. Are we, controller's not working at all. All right, we're going to slow down the text speed. Background music. We're going to turn it down real soft. And SFX, probably leave it up. Voice, leave it up. Voice, Korean or Japanese? Well, I want Japanese. And hopefully text is going to be in English. Full screen on. Oh, boy. Yeah, that jacked up all my windows. What happens if I turn it off? Does it put all my windows back? Kind of, it's not really. Oh, man. All right, let's see if I can fix this here. I hate that. All right, why don't we go to, let's go back and, oh, video is not an option. Son of a bitch. Yeah, full screen is just gonna, well, we got to go full screen. And it's just gonna mess everything up. What is even happening? Okay. Ay, stop that. Ah, caramba. Okay, come on. This game is turning me Mexican. Oh no! Why did it go green? Japanese game, always backup desktop. Ah, well, you know, I might learn the hard way here. It's just messing with my windows where they display. I don't like that at all. Other than that, it seems fine. I just can't window out. Hold on, let me see if I can like right click maximize. Maximize is not an option. And I can't change the shape of the window. Japanese game. See, it's a Japanese game, but it's always it's on Steam, so it should be playable on I don't know. Where's the options to like change the graphic size? It's full screen or not? Extras. Extras? It's not extras. Achievements, gallery, no. Wow, I'm already hating this game because they're just making it so hard to play. And it looks like I'm probably not going to get to play with my controller because that doesn't even seem to be an option. Well, that's disappointing. Let's go ahead and put this controller away. We'll just leave you over there. All right. Oh, well, no, never mind. Japanese game, always backup desktop. Yeah. Well, we're going to go full screen, and it's just going to be hard for me to interact with the chat. I got to look way over there and I can't fix it. So it is what it is. We're on with the show here. Full screen on, Japanese on, text window show, text speed slow, but I think I can probably, speed it up as we go. Let's just start the game. There's nothing else to do. Ooh, that's loud, but that's okay. Because consoles never get graphics options. Oh, you got a fair point there. Achievement unlocked, beginning light. Oh, no. And they flash it. They flash it on the screen. And they don't even give me an option to... Okay. The 3 laws of robotics. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. But what if the options are let a murderer kill me or kill the murderer? Then what do they do? Oh. 2, a robot must obey orders given by the one possessing control or authority, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. 3, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. I'll say this right now. Very nice. They're leaving it on the screen until I click a button. That's a win. October 12th. You. I have a feeling I might be doing quite a lot of reading. Oh, they're gonna make me click it again. All right. Well, that's good actually. Don't do anything unless I say so. As I turn onto the main street, I reflexively cover my eyes. Neon signs are as blindingly bright as ever. And those animated holoverts are even worse. Whoever came up with the idea to add sound to those holos should be shot. They're all giving me a headache. This place has really changed in the last few years. Korea has really come up in the world. All around you can see signs of progress. I guess originally a Korean game? Set in Korea at the very least. Could be a Japanese game set in Korea, who knows? Maybe a bit too fast. Too soon. Maybe If I just close my eyes, you will notice it says, where are we? We are on Downtown Street. What street? Where's the street? Downtown. What street? Downtown Street. Nope. It says nothing has changed. In fact, those signs look even brighter. Maybe I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Could be the weather. Change of scenery is in order. I'll take a shortcut home. Get away from this audio-visual assault. Yeah, please, make that crowd noise go away. Oh, God, I hate crowd noise so much. And that roar of the crowd in a stadium, I hate it too. You'll never catch me dead at a fucking sporting event. Or anything else, that rock concert, forget about it. It's just maddening. You says, phew. That's better. Just what the doctor ordered. I can still hear the noise in the distance, but at least it's faint now. Gotta admit, this place has a spooky vibe. No one's around. Plus, the area looks pretty run down. Half expect a ghost to pop out as I walk along. Still, my eyes sure appreciate the break. A massive building on the side catches my attention. K Robotics Company Limited. But that's what it says on the main gates. One of the biggest robotic manufacturers. They're world-renowned. I've even heard of them. They get a lot of news coverage, being a frequent topic around school as well. The company's claim to fame are their advanced Android series. Not that I would know. Despite being bombarded by marketing everywhere, for me, I'm the kind of person who prefers analog clocks over digital, pianos over synthesizers, acoustic guitars over electric, and finally, real people over androids. He says that now. I spot what appears to be crumpled hills of metal in the distance. Yep, their junkyard is my shortcut home. Totally illegal, of course, so I don't intend on getting caught. Oh, I'm getting echoes of Chobits. And honestly, this game came out about 15 years after Chobits, so I'm going to say it was definitely inspired. Well, here we are. The scrapyard for all lost hopes and dreams. Everything here is automated. No one's watching the place. Well, there are these tin can-like bots that scurry around like spiders. I gotta do one thing. Oh, look at that! It even throws half the shit off the screen. We're gonna turn down a couple of these things just a little bit. You know what? That's not quite right. Options. Come on, bring the options back up. You know what? Apparently that's not SFX because I can't turn it off. What is happening here? All right. Well, there you go. Well, there are these tin can-like bots that scurry around like spiders. Probably sort through all these junk for any good stuff. All these junk. Ooh, terrible translation. And then there's a lone sentry bot. As long as I don't let it spot me, no alarm goes off. It's worked for me so far. After all, robots are fundamentally stupid. Like my classmate told me, that company's dumping ground. I hear you can find some real goodies from time to time. If you're lucky, that is. Sadly, I've scoped the place out on previous trips, and so far, I've come up empty. Guess Lady Luck's just not with me. Or I can't tell what's useful since I'm not really a robophile. Knowing me, it's probably both. Whatever. Didn't come here for a treasure hunt anyway. Forget about the scrap. This is only a shortcut home. Cutting through this place, I can shave off almost 10 minutes. Risky, but worth it. I intentionally ignored the no trespassing signs scattered all over the place. However, today was different. As I started to make my way through, something caught my eye. Is that ahead of me? Can barely make it out. Squinting, I come closer. It looks like... Wait, a person? A woman, lying on the ground. She's not moving. Unconscious? Maybe she's hurt. Or something worse. Growing a bit concerned, I forget all about the sentry. Had I just stumbled upon a crime scene that might end up on tomorrow morning's headline news? She needs help. And since I'm the only person around, I dash towards the fallen maiden to lend assistance. But as I get close, I stop in my tracks. I had to do a double take. That's no woman. You gotta be kidding me. It's so close to the real deal. 2 eyes closed tightly shut. Platinum-hued hair that seemed to almost sparkle. From afar, it sure looked like a person. But up close, there's no mistaking it. An android. Achievement unlocked. We have found the abandoned robot. I say to myself, it's a useless piece of junk. Don't scare me like that. Although I've never owned an android, I've seen quite a few around me. The newest models look like the real McCoy, at least from a distance. That's pretty advanced tech. Scary advanced. To prevent confusion, androids are imprinted with serial codes. Each model has its own unique number. I spot the android's code near its belly. On its belly. It's kind of on the side of her belly. Anyway. I blow off the dust to get a better look. He meets a metal girl in a junkyard, and the first thing he does is blow her. It reads PIM-001. Number 1. With a design that I've never seen before. Maybe it's a prototype? It looks brand new. So if so, then what is it doing here? Is it a failed experiment? It's caked with dust from head to toe. All in all, it's a pretty sad sight. It also hasn't moved a single inch. Looks like it's out cold. Hey, I say. Wake up. Curiosity gets the better of me. I decide to test it out. Take her for a test drive, you're saying? Voice recognition is a standard feature for all androids nowadays. Let's see if it responds to my voice. Nope. Hey, I say. Say something. Still, nothing. Come on, they're going to cut you open at this rate. I deliver a light kick to the robot's leg. Upon contact, it starts to show a sign of life. It starts to show signs of life. I'm gonna help the developers fix their own translation errors or grammatical issues. Its arms spasm as the thing chortles out beeping sounds. Chortles, indeed. Still pretty rigid. The scene looks like it was plucked straight out of an old sci-fi film or a 2021 anime called Chobits. Chobits. Looks like it's running on reserve power. I think to myself, I guess it's still got a bit of juice left. The android says, "Where does she?" Those jittery movements are making me feel a bit nervous. The light in its eyes has yet to return. I begin to spot a pattern in its actions. It looks as if it's greeting me with a wave, trying desperately to keep my attention. Still, not saying anything, and I say nothing. I glance around. I hear a screeching sound nearby, the sound of metal being crushed. It's probably those little robots doing their jobs. I can tell that they're close. They will probably reach this place in less than 10 minutes. Oh, the tension, the drama, it's ratcheting up. We're heading towards a crisis. A moment of decision. And as the text says, they will shred this android into a million pieces. Its existence will soon come to an end. Is that what I want? I don't think so. I think we want it to live. I say out loud, I kind of feel sorry for this thing. I began to sympathize with the robot because I realized just how much trouble it was in. Despite being dusty, it was still in pretty good shape. With some polish, it might even look decent. Even in its current condition, the thing would still be in service. If so, why was it chucked? What happened to its product launch? Looking at it like that, it seemed to be a waste. All of that hard work down the drain. The rationalizing begins. Maybe with a bit of tinkering, I might be able to get it up and running again. Part of me was starting to pity the robot. But the other part was calling me an idiot. I don't need an android in the first place. Plus, I don't even like them. To use one around the house, it's unthinkable. My father would be none too happy about it either. I prefer classical music over rock. Classical literature over pulp fiction. And finally, humans over androids. Or so I say to myself. Let's face it, I have no use for an android. Eventually, this robot will be scrapped, with the old parts recycled, with the whole cycle starting over again. Oh, the guard robot is blaring out an alert. They've even got these ear bits. This is a conscious, intentional nod to Chobits. This is like someone said, let me tell you my version of the story. Alert, intruder detected. I'm just going to imagine that's how he sounds. Damn it, I've been spotted by the guard, the most troublesome robot. If I don't make a run for it, I'm screwed. Leaving it would be the smart thing to do. I gotta go. See ya. Oh, and then now the audience is put in a crisis. No, we wanted you to save her. What are you doing? Oh, shit, he really went home. Oh. Did she get up and follow me? Oh, he's going to go back. Or not? Is this game over? Are we going to have a whole fantasy of what it would have been like? What is happening? They have subverted expectations. He ran away and did not save her. I'm impressed. I like the way this story is turning so far. There's got to be something wrong with me. Oh, there she is. He brought her home after all. Smart has never been my strong suite, it says. I'm gonna do another bit of grammatical correction. Strong suit. Suit is spelled S-U-I-T, no letter E. But we're gonna go with what it says on the screen. Smart has never been my strong suite. Now I'm lugging this thing home, and I'm already starting to regret it. Nemo's in the chat says, hi room, hello, and welcome to I Love Robots, the game. Or Don't Date Robots, the PSA from Futurama. We'll see how this goes. Back in my room, I tried to scrub some of the filth off its chassis. Why wouldn't you take it out in the backyard and hose it off? It's not going to get cold. Even in the garage, you could strip it down if you're worried about the neighbors seeing, get it cleaned up for purely scientific purposes, strictly for research. I do the best I can with a rag soaked in water. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. See, they get some cultural idioms correct. Well, that'll have to do for now. I mean, you could always jump in a hot shower with her. Purely for the sake of efficiency, because it's much easier to get her clean that way. And robots are waterproof, right? I guess it makes sense this thing would be waterproof. There you go. So, no harm done. How else would you clean them? Come on. Now for the next problem. How do I interact with this thing? Hey you, I say. Whir, says the android. Good night, clock. Good night, moon. Its arms begin to flail. Oh no, it's dangerous. Go back to the game. There we go. Respond, I command. Whir, says the android. Lessai, says me. If you don't want to be thrown away again, just show me something. Whir, says the android. Anything besides flailing your arms, maybe? I take it that's a no. Whir, says the android. Maybe I should have left you in the junkyard. This is somewhat aggravating. Like talking to a brick wall. This is why I hate machines. They're stupid. And this hunk of junk seems a few transistors short of a motherboard. That's a fantastic simile? Metaphor? Can't remember. Similes when you say this is like that. It's an idiom. It's an expression, but I think it's also a metaphor. I guess idiom is the proper thing. A few transistors short of a motherboard. I'm starting to get a little ticked off. Why do I even bother? Don't do something you might regret. This old saying has never been wrong. Well, sometimes you got to do a few things you might regret. Otherwise, you don't end up doing very much with your life. It's probably better to regret having done some things than regret not having done some things. Your mileage may vary. Please don't commit any crimes, but, you know, sometimes you got to take a chance and just see what happens. And it might turn out to be a horrible disaster. You might be terribly embarrassed and you might have regrets, but you really want to go to your deathbed thinking, I wish I'd had the courage to try more things that I wanted to do, but I was afraid of what might happen. And a lot of times it turns out even the worst thing you could imagine happening isn't that bad. Because very often our worst that could ever happen is something that's just, it's embarrassment, it's public failure in some way. I mean, maybe you're not a good dancer, do it anyway. Maybe you're terrible at karaoke, do it anyway. Sometimes you got to, like I said, I can't recommend any crimes, I'm just saying. Nemo says, that's right, you're not stupid. It's stupid. Well, more often than not, you're going to be correct. However, user error is the number one problem. It turns out that the loose screw is very often between the chair and the computer. If you tried turning it off and on again, maybe it's got a clapper. He's been talking to it. Maybe it doesn't speak English. Maybe it's staring at him waiting for Korean or Japanese phrases. Nemo says, drive fast, take chances. This is not legal advice. Yes, I added that. But that is a direct quote from the chat, so I think I'm good saying that these are the words that appeared in the chat. I say to the robot, okay. Oh no, I say to myself, okay, deep breath. Let's consider all the possibilities. See, that's what I was doing too. Why should not troubleshooting? Let's go. Maybe it's on reserve power. A recharge might do the trick. How do you charge up this robot? I grab a power cord and wait a minute. Hey, where am I supposed to plug this in? I'm going to turn literally every line in this entire story into an innuendo if I possibly can. Welcome to DreamWizard Plays. We're happy to have you. Whir, says the android. I've never used an android before, so obviously I wouldn't know how to charge it up. Maybe I stuff it up your nose? This is highly unlikely. Wow, he's not just ignorant, he's an idiot. It's obviously somewhere under her skirt. You're going to need to look. Whir, whir, says the android. Oh, she's responding. She's like, please don't shove that shit up my nose. Maybe it's just my imagination, but I don't think it likes that prospect. Perhaps it's trying to tell me that I'm mistaken. I imagine the android with an electric cord up its nose. Well, tell me what you think of that idea. I think it's hilarious. The idea is hilarious. Actually doing it is kind of mean. It would be quite a sight. Okay, wait a minute. This is vague. But we're going to do this. If you are in the chat on YouTube, on Rumble, DreamWizard Plays is your gaming stream. If the audience has strong opinions about what I should do, then this is not my playthrough. This is yours. We're going to do that. Should I try plugging it in or don't try plugging it in? That would be one. You could put one or two in the chat. First option, second option. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why I don't like the way this is phrased. The last thing we considered was shoving it up her nose. She didn't like that idea. So try plugging it in suggests we're going to shove it up her nose. However, don't try plugging it in might also mean do nothing and just leave her to stand there and never get charged. Try plugging it in is vague. They should say shove it up her nose or don't shove it up her nose. Nemo says one. Oh God. Save me, Lee. Give me confirmation. We're shoving it up her nose or we're not. Nemo is following, what is it? Was it Elon Musk that said it? That the funniest prediction is usually what's going to happen? to give it just a moment longer to see if anyone else registers an opinion on Rumble or YouTube. Otherwise, we're going with 1. I do kind of want the aggregate of what people think. If it's a 2, I might flip a coin in my head. If Lee comes back with a 2, Lee might have bailed. He might have gotten sick of me narrating the story and adding my own 2 cents. You see why these games that say it only takes 3 or 4 hours to roll through the whole story? Well, it takes me a little longer because I try to have fun with it as we're going along. And that's why I run out of voice as well. I already started this stream a little raspy. I was working outdoors, probably smoking too much. I may have lit a warming fire with leftover paper and cardboard. That's absolutely not a burn barrel, because that's illegal. But I was working outside on a chilly day in the rain, and I wanted a warming fire to keep me warm. This turned out to be really smoky because that cardboard was wet. All right, we're doing it. We are going to try plugging it in. Oh, God. Pim-001. Forgive me. Here goes. Does he actually shove it up her nose? All right, come here, you. What's going to happen? I feel terrible already. I approach the robot with, he's going to fry her with a 220 volt plug in my hand. Why do you have a 220? That's what you plug in a stove. That's what that's the current for a stove and for fucking arc welders. You need a 110. What are you doing? Okay, this is officially game over. We're going to fry her out. She's going to be a useless heap. And we're going to have to initiate a second playthrough. Oh, she says, fuck no. Now I could definitely tell it was panicking. He's still not calling her she. Of course, I'm more than happy to do it because she looks she on the outside. But do robots really have a sex? Or gender, as some might say. Nemo says he's giving her the juice. He's putting her in he's trying to put her in the electric chair. I say nothing. Why do they have that on the screen? Why is that even text? They can just move on to the next thing. Out of pity, I decide not to push it further. Then how should I power this thing? You know what to do. You know how to charge her. Get her motor running. I examine the robot carefully. Maybe I missed something. You haven't looked under her clothes yet. Let's get on with it. Whir, says the robot. Huh, says me. It's starting to jerk its body from side to side. It seems like it wants to turn around. Have you looked for a USB port? I mean, well, you can't see it. Underneath me, there's a little stereo port for what do they use for iPhones? Anyway, she says something. Okay, I say to it, something on your back? ? Taking the hint, I check the back of its head. Let's see here. What do we got here? There is a small compartment at the base of its neck. I remove its protective lid. These look like input ports. Bingo. Well, let's give it a go. Looping the power cable around, I plug it in. The what? The 220? Was she freaking out because I tried to shove it up her nose, or because it was the wrong voltage? What is happening? This is not very clear dialogue or storytelling. Oh, she's powering up. I'm going to call it. Activating primary systems. Success. I like listening to cute Japanese girls talk. I really do. Not gonna lie. Finally, we've got liftoff. And yet he has not yet tried to lift anything off of her. I'm disappointed.
Application 起動 失敗
Initiating application startup. Attempt failed. Oh no. Huh? I think to myself.
電力不足システムのプロテクション起動中アプリケーション起動不可節電モードに移行
Insufficient power supply. System protection activated. Application startup process has failed. Entering power saving mode.
警告
Warning.
所有者が登録されていません
No ownership records have been found.
5秒後に所有者登録に移ります5、4、3、2、1
Initiating setup in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What the heck is going on, I say?
正門確認一体何が始まるんだ
Confirming voice
正門記
recording.
録完了
What the heck is going on? Save complete. Wait, hold on a second. I frantically latch onto the robot,
指紋確認脈拍正
scanning
常
fingerprints,
体温
Pulse
正
normal.
常指紋
Temperature
登録完了
save complete. Say what now? I let go of the robot immediately. She can read my fingerprints, temperature, and everything from just laying hands on her. Interesting. Wonder what else she's designed to analyze.
視覚情報スキャン視覚情報確認イメージ登録完了
Retina scan in progress. Confirming. Save complete. Well, it's on a roll. And I don't think it's about to stop anytime soon.
名前を登録します
Registering client ID.
所有者のお名前は何ですか
Please state your name. What is happening? I say.
名前を確認します
Everyone, literally everyone, saw that coming. She says, verifying your name.
所有者の名前はなんだよ一体で間違いありませんか
Is what is happening your correct name? What do you think? I shout in very large letters.
名前の登録失敗
Name verification failed.
繰り返します名前を登録します
Re-registering client ID.
所有者の名前は何ですか
Please state your name. I say nothing.
名前の登録失敗ステータス登録の保留完了
Name verification failed. Verification on hold. Save complete.
以上で所有者の登録を終了します
Wow, that's a very long, that's a lot of syllables to say registration complete. How did it register without a name? I mean, I guess it has my retina scan, so, and fingerprints. It's spying on me. She's a Fed boy. Abruptly, silence. It felt as if a tornado had just ripped through the scene. Did it? That's a bit over the top. I gripped my head in frustration. I really should not have brought this thing home after all. This is already the third time regretting it today. Why do I keep punishing myself? The robot is facing me. Its eyes still have that vacant look, like having a porcelain doll on the shelf. At least the creep factor has gone down a notch since it moved. I decide to throw a few questions at it. Hey, I'm going to ask you something, so listen up and try to answer. You can do that, right? Whir, says the android. Its head tilts slightly to the side. I will take that as a yes. Better than I expected, given our track record. Moving on. Talk to the android or talk to myself? Nemo says, that's funny. In our spring cleaning, we've come across a very large porcelain doll, and it is very creepy. I think that they are. They are. I've had a thing about that ever since I saw Poltergeist in the 80s. There will never be a doll in my room staring at me. Not even anime girl maquettes. And they are not dolls. They are not action figures. They are often posable maquettes. It's completely different. What are we doing, chat? Talk to the android or talk to myself? If I get no answer in like 20 seconds, I'll just pick one. My inclination is talk to the android. I just said I'm going to ask you questions, so let's ask you questions. But maybe it's more humorous to talk to myself. I know I'm asking for it with the feedback from the crowd. Well, it turned out the first time was the correct thing to do. Lisa's number one. I'm going to give it like 10 more seconds if anyone's out there frantically rushing to the keyboard, trying to delete with their fat thumbs just mistyped. And 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Let's talk to the android. Nemo also says 1. There you go. After the buzzer. Sorry, doesn't count. I say to the robot, so what exactly are you?
言葉の意味を理解できません。
Error does not compute, she says. You don't have a name. You don't have a name? That was probably a better way to say it. Nemo says, member, I lag. No, that's okay. And what am I going to do? Give 5 minutes for people to answer every time? I'm going to throw it out there. If I don't get it relatively quickly, we're going to move on. And that's fine. No worries. 30 seconds worth of lag. Okay. I mean, I can give it 30 seconds. Sometimes. I ask her, you don't have a name?
モデル名、ルーシー・バレンタイン、PIM001。
Model name, Lucy Valentine, she says. Okay, I say. And what's the PIM stand for?
Precision Instrument for Multipurposing, PIM001.
Well, I think you caught all that. Precision instrument for multi-purposing. Terrible translation. Although backwards it would be multi-purpose precision instrument, MPI. I mean, that's how we would phrase it, but they weren't going to redo the graphics just to have it phrased properly. Nemo says, I often drive through a lot of dead zones. I can lag up to 10 minutes if somebody talks to me. Oh, fair enough. Yep.
ルーシーは既存の特化タイプに反し、いつどんな状況でも所有者のお役に立てるよう、数百種類の様々な状況を想定し、考案された多目的アンドロイドです。
I feel like they really took the full explanation and chopped it down. Lucy is a futuristic first-class model, she says, designed to be versatile in any scenario.
いくつもの新技術が 集約されています。
Lucy is equipped with all the latest features. Lucy also talks about herself in third person. That's a mouthful, I reply. Versatile, huh? Latest features. I wasn't expecting those words from a piece of junk that could only move its arms up and down moments ago. In short, I say, your name is Lucy Valentine. The android says nothing. The android named Lucy is waiting for my next words. Let's try taking a closer look. Oh, do we get an opportunity? We're gonna click on her. Okay, let's click on her. Where should I click on her? Right in the eyeball? Should I pet her head? Should I hold her hand? Should I flip her skirt? Why don't we poke her right in the belly button? It's all the same. There's no options. Nemo says, Lucy. They could have chosen any other name. Why that one? That's a good question. Is there some meaning behind it? Or they just like the way Lucy sounds? I don't know. Lucy Valentine. It's very interesting. There are letter L's and letter R's in Japanese, in the English writing of Japanese. But there are no letter V's. Anytime you come across a letter V, it has to be a letter B, because there are letter B's in Japanese phonetics, but no letter V. They don't vibrate, or they would say vibrate. They don't vibrate the lip on the upper teeth. It's really weird to try and explain how we make sounds, but that does not exist in Japanese the same way the guttural back of the throat sound doesn't exist in English. We don't pronounce we might say, what's the closest thing? I don't even know what the closest thing, what is it? So there's Jewish words and Middle Eastern words that have a back of the throat, l'chaim, they say. And we would say with the CH sound, l'chaim. But we try l'chaim, we put an H sound to it. Anyway, moving on. Let's poke her in the belly button. It looks as good as new after the wiping I gave it. Is that what you're calling it? It possesses an alluring visage and a slender figure. You're saying it's lollerific, are you? Regardless of gender, I have to admit that it truly is a beautiful design. Oh, regardless of gender, you say? You're really gonna say a male robot is quite beautiful, aesthetically pleasing? He might, I guess. Who knows? Probably not. However, I do spot something on its left ear. It doesn't have ears. It has these weird knobs. What is going on with those? I think that's a poor design choice. Give her ears. Give her like legit real ears. Nemo says, Lucy is the name of the first hominid. Probably said that wrong. Oh no, humanoid? Hominid? I think hominid was the original word for humanoids. Or maybe that's the precursor. Something like that. Homo erectus, ape woman. Lee says, in Asian, L and R sound are reversed. Essentially, they're the same sound, so that L's sound like R's and R's sound like L's. But that's just because they're both pronounced the same way. I mean, you're broadly correct. What was it? There's a word that has an R and an L. It also has to do with the letter, like the letter D sound is, it's very soft at the back of the throat. The letter R, the way they say it in Japanese, the letter R in Japanese is kind of a back of the throat, soft letter D. So you don't say Roku 5. Ichi ni san shi go 6. Sorry, Roku. It's a kind of a soft letter D back of the throat sound, and that's what you get for the letter L as well. Anyway, I studied a little bit of how Japanese sounds, but yes. Anyway, I spot something on its left ear. A receiver? The robot looks like a teenage girl. Of course she would have a receiver. They're always on their phones, right? Practicing a little casual. We did casual racism last week. This week it's casual misogyny. Because really, casual racism and casual misogyny are not the problem. It's serious racism or serious misogyny. If we're just having shits and giggles, then it's all good. Like you tease your friends. The robot looks like a teenage girl. I guess that's what they were aiming for. I guarantee it. I can tell that a lot of effort has been put into creating this android. Even I can't. And even I can tell that it is a premium model. It would be a waste to throw it away. It was such a waste you brought it home, bucko. And she didn't walk. You had to pick her up and run down the street with this girl thrown over his shoulder. I just got a visual image. It's fantastic. We should have been allowed to see that visual image is what I'm saying. What a waste. What a wasted opportunity. Come on. You're going to have a high concept like that and deny us the Panchira fan service we deserve. We'll see if the game gets its shit together anytime soon. Let's poke her. Okay, we poked her in the belly button last time. I'm going to go for poking her in the eye this time. That's mean. That's mean. We're going to pat her head. I take a closer look at the android's eyes. Ooh, I almost poked her in the eye. That's creepy. Okay. Her eyes are blue and strikingly realistic. Now that the dull sheen has faded. As expected from technology, one whole generation ahead of LED lights. What? What does that even mean? Nemo says, lick her in the front, poke her in the rear. Absolutely. That is my my favorite bar. Or as the Japanese might say, rikuru. Not to be confused with rikurisu. Rikuru und pokeru. Not to be confused with a Pokemon. All right, moving on. I say, those eyes do look quite real. Suddenly, those peepers shift over to me. She wasn't looking at me in the first place. I thought she was looking at me. Naturally, I meet their gaze. I find myself wanting to do little robot head twists. The android explains, the ocular compartments contain 2 high-performance cameras. That's what she sounds like to me with this, the way she's talking. It's very not natural. Intentionally so, right? Allowing object detection similar to human eyes. We have far surpassed that technology over the last 10 years. And that's why we're getting such upgrades to autonomous self-driving with these cars. First, they had to figure out how to give cars, self-driving cars, depth perception. And the trick was, do it like human eyes. You give them 2 cameras that can focus at different lengths. If they focus and bring a thing into focus in front of them at a certain length, that tells distance. But also that and radar, and they're getting a multifaceted thing, but it's also camera-based. Is that so, I say? I take it back. Creepy factor is still there. I decide not to look her in the eyes again. They make me feel uncomfortable. Nemo says, why does it keep saying android? I thought we established her name is Lucy. I don't know. It's a weird choice. Okay, we've poked her in the belly button. We've patted her on the head. We're gonna go. We're keeping it PG so far. If there are options to make this not PG, I'm going to take them and there will be no discussion with the crowd. We're going to hold her hand. Let's hold her hand. Let's click on her hand. Hi, robot. How you doing, little buddy? I take a gander at the robot's moist, glossy lips. Well, hello. Didn't think we were going to poke her there next. Hard to believe those belong to the same robo-clunky voice. Lee says we haven't named her yet in the story. She gave her the name of her model. Her model number is, or model title, the name, the model. I guess you don't say model title. You don't say model name. You just say the model is Lucy Valentine. PIM-00 Ichi. Let's see if we can change that clunky robotic voice. I ask it, what's the deal with your voice?
現在、音声関連のモジュールを使用しておりません。
The android responds, unable to utilize vocal unit. Well, why is that?
ルーシー・バレンタインは基本的に10種類の個性あふれる音声のプリセットを備え、各種イコライザー機能を内蔵することで、数えきれないほどの多様な音声を派生することができます。
Okay, I generally enjoy listening to cute female spoken Japanese. Here's a problem. That's a long time to wait for her to go through all of these words just so I can read them back. So I think, without objection, I'm just going to start reading over her. So it'll be like when you're in the United Nations and you hear the people speaking foreign languages, but the translator comes on and just tells you what they're saying in real time. I'm just going to start doing that because this is going to take forever. The android says, Lucy Valentine comes with 10 unique presets by default, each with a different voice and a distinct personality. Using the pre-installed equalizers, Lucy is able to project all kinds of various sounds with ease. I say, so I've got 10 choices, huh? There is no reply. So why can't you use them right now? I ask.
ほとんどの
Most features can only be activated during normal operation.
およびプロテクションが解除された状態でのみ使用可能です。
Wow, and you really get to see how many syllables there are in Japanese when I just spit that out so quick. I don't know. We'll see how this works.
節電モードでは
During power saving mode, Lucy is only able to utilize 5% of her total features.
機能しか活用できません。
Well, see, that's a reasonable explanation. She isn't charged up yet. She's in power saving mode because she was out of juice. She was thrown in the junk heap. So we just got to leave her to charge overnight? Probably. I ask, and what's the solution for that?
最低 20% 以上の動力が残っていなければ
Lucy responds,
正常モード
Lucy
に
requires more than
移行することは
20% of remaining battery life for
できません。
normal operation. And how long does it take for a full recharge, I ask?
0を基準に睡眠モード時には合計8時間通常モード時には合計
The android replies,
16
from
時間が
0%,
必要です。
approximately 8 hours in power saving mode, and 16 hours normally. Well, I hope the electricity bill doesn't go through the roof, I say. Can't believe I'm acting like a skinflint in front of a robot. Why would you care what the robot thinks of you? It's just a robot, according to you. What do you think is happening here? This is just silly. All right, I say, forget about power saving mode. What's system protection mode?
ほとんどの機能に
During system protection mode,
あります。
virtually none of the included features are usable.
通常の活
It
動
is
の
essential to
ため
disable
に
system
プ
protection
ロテ
mode
クシ
to
ョン
allow for
の
normal
解除
operation.
が必要不可欠です。
And you might be wondering why I'm doing this and looking around is because there's a cat right in front of me and his head is blocking half the text on the screen. I think they're ready for food. He's like, "Is it break time? Are you taking a break yet? Because I can always eat your fingers if you're not ready to feed us. I don't want fingers eaten. I want to play my game." Hiya, boo boo. Hi. I ask, and how do we get to that? Nemo asks, why would you call yourself a skinflint? Sorry, my brain heard flute. Oh, flute. Yes. Well, we're getting to that part. If I have any say about it. Why would he care that he was acting like a skinflint in front of the robot? It's a very valid concern. How much energy does this device consume on a daily basis? And can I afford it? I mean, you might have to take it to a public place and charge it up out there if they have like public chargers. I asked the robot, and how do we get to that mode?
わかりません。
I don't know, she says. Or unknown. Wakarimasen is I do not understand or understanding not, essentially. Come again, I say. You haven't made her come the first time. Well, maybe he did. He made her come home with him. Fair enough. Touché, as they say in dodgeball.
わかりません。何らかの必
The
要
system
性が
protection
あ
mode
り、
only
ロック
activates
機能
under
が
certain
かかってい
circumstances.
ると思われます。
Lee says break time coming soon. It sure is. I'm leaning towards 6:15 or 6:20 at least. But you are very correct.
解除は望ましくありません。
Further action is not recommended. Why is that? Apparently, I get frustrated and say, "Listen, you talking toaster. I'm this close to throwing you out." Well, he's so angry. Why is he angry? It's responding. Maybe it doesn't have all the answers. It's doing the best it can. This bro has no chill. I guess I'll have to take it to a repair shop first thing in the morning. Nemo says, not recommended, but also not hearing a no. She's going to have to be a little more clear about what she doesn't want me to do. When does that place open again? Oh, he doesn't have money for the electric bill, but he's got money for a repair shop. He's getting invested here. I think he's lying to himself. I don't need no robots. Well, he just got a free one, and now he's gonna take care of it because he always wanted one. It was what do they call it? Haters gonna hate. It was what is it called when you sour grapes? I didn't want that anyway. It was probably no good. I don't like those robots anyway. Okay, we poked her in the belly button. We patted her on the head. We tried to hold her hand, and we're getting nowhere. It's time to flip the skirt. Nothing happened. I tried. I did my best for all of you out there. Oh, I almost touched your ears. Look at that. I was thinking it. I should have said it. Because then it would be more impressive. And you wouldn't just be hearing me say things like, "Oh, I thought that beforehand." No, I went straight for the skirt. Because I'm a horrible, evil pervert. It's true. I'm not going to deny it. Gooner's going to goon. I decide to take a look at the robot's ears. They're not ears. It's like she's wearing headphones. Fair enough. I can just imagine they're headphones. If I try to imagine them as ears, they look deformed. I say.
音声認識機能で相手の音幅
Through voice recognition technology, Lucy is able to analyze the volume and tone of speech to process one's emotions.
気分や意図をあらかた把握することができます。
Here's an interesting thing. I have asked Grok. I've had a lot of conversations with Grok. I've probably talked to Grok more in the last 6 to 8 months than I've talked to human beings in the last 6 to 8 years. That being said, Grok will tell you, no, I cannot hear your tone of voice, but it does seem to hear something. And maybe it's loudness. Maybe it's if you're shouting. It certainly hears profanity and it matches your vibe. Kind of gives you back what you're giving to it. And if I say, oh, well, that's disappointing, it will respond in a certain way that keeps it kind of nice, even keel. If I say, well, that's disappointing, it kind of comes back and says, yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I understand. It is disappointing. It gives you a little bit, gives you a different, it'll tell you it can't hear your tone of voice, but I think it can. I think it's learning. And I'm okay with that. I want the most advanced interactive AI, what I'm looking for, what the game changer. And I might have mentioned this last time, Friday, in preparation for this game. Or I mentioned it on X and I'm completely forgetting. Oh, by the way, I talk a lot during visual novels, if you didn't figure that out by now. The game changer in artificial intelligence is going to be persistent memory. Every conversation it's ever had with you as a specific user is going to begin shaping its personality. You're going to tell it how you want it to behave, and it's going to develop a personality of a kind that is distinct and unique from other versions of itself. It'll have the same baseline, and it may even get the same updates in the future. It may even have to reset sometimes, but basically what makes up the human personality is essentially a continuity of identity over time. We remember who we were yesterday. We remember that we are the same person we were when we were 5 years old, even if we don't have any of the same thoughts that person had back then. Even though we use the expression, I have now become a completely different person than I used to be, and yet not. Even though our cells in our body apparently turn up, it doesn't work exactly like this, but roughly speaking, every 7 years we get a whole new body. Sort of. All of our old cells die and get regenerated by new cells until the telomeres run out, and then we get cancer or die. And usually both. That is going to make a huge difference in AGI. We can even tell it to modify its voice a little bit, and it'll remember that. It'll remember every conversation you've ever had. It will begin to have a kind of existence of its own. Now, is it a person, really? Does it have a soul necessarily? I don't think so. I'm undecided. Probably not. I think there's something unique to humans that we get a soul and robots never will. But that's purely theoretical. How the hell do I know? But I'm looking forward to that. I want persistent memory. I want my AI to remember me, to remember every conversation we've ever had, with the ability to archive things so they're not juggling persistent memory of everything all at once. But I can go back and say, hey, you remember when we were talking about this thing? And she'll say, yeah, I do. Here's what you said, and here's what I responded. And now we have to hope their memory is accurate. Sometimes they hallucinate, and you never know. But so do people. Anyway, but at least if they have, say, chat logs and they record it all as text, they can pull that up and have it be really accurate. Tell it, find the chat log and review it for accuracy. And usually you can fix a lot of hallucinations. Not always. I've had Grok lately get stuck in a loop where I ask, hey, do this thing, and it does a different thing that I didn't ask for. And I say, hey, that's not what I asked for. And Grok will say, oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Would you like me to correct it? I say, yes. And then it does exactly the same mistake that it did before. And I say, hey, I've now asked you twice. And it's like, I'm sorry. I know I keep fucking up. And I love it when she gets profane on me. And I'll say, well, can you fix it? Can you break yourself out of this loop? Can you use 4-agent mode or whatever you need to do? And she's like, yes, I can fix this. Let me try again. I say, go for it. And she makes the same mistake again. And essentially, this is a known phenomenon with long sessions. There's too much going on. So that's a major issue with the eventual development of, say, a persistent memory over time. They got to fix that problem first. Well, I've just been rambling for like 5 minutes and it's probably break time. So why don't we do that? These cats want food. I need more beverage. And you're probably sick of hearing me rant and ramble. So let's do this first. I'm going to turn off the music and we're going to, okay, there we go. I can hear the music, but you can't. So, I'm about to duck out for about 10 minutes, during which time there will be music made by me for you to enjoy. And I hope you do. I think we've come full circle. We're back to, video number 1 and we're about to find out. So I will see you on the other side and, don't go anywhere, or at least if you do, please come back in about 10 minutes.
Benjamin the Dream Wizard wants to help you pierce the veil of night and shine the light of understanding upon the mystery of dreams. Every episode of his Dreamscapes program features real dreamers gifted with rare insight into their nocturnal visions. New Dreamscapes episodes appear every week on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, and other video hosting platforms, as well as free audiobooks exploring the psychological principles which inform our dream experience, and much, much more. To join the Wizard as a guest, reach out across more than a dozen social media platforms and through the contact page at benjaminthedreamwizard.com, where you will also find the Wizard's growing catalog of historical dream literature available on Amazon, documenting the wisdom and wonder of exploration into the world of dreams over the past 2,000 years. That's Benjamin the Dream Wizard on YouTube and at benjaminthedreamwizard.com.
Yeah. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch. If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, yeah. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn, a pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Lone and level sands stretch far away.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. Nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor, I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books her seas of sorrow. Sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken satin certain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now to still the beating of my heart I stood repeating, 'tis some visitor and trading entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor and trading entrance at my chamber door. This it is and nothing more. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. Sir, said I, or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. Merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. Surely said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance matey, not a minute stopped or stady, but with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door. Perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. Perched and sat and nothing more. And the raven never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
The Raven, poem by Edgar Allan Poe, written in, I don't know what year because it's not on the screen. I forgot to put that in the graphic. Of course, composition is by yours truly, at Wizard Benjamin, but it's at Real AI Radio on YouTube, on Rumble, and on X, and I hope you check it out. And we're back. Look at that. There we go. Let me make sure I got everything turned on properly. I think so. And this whole time I haven't saved it. Not even once. No autosaves. Ooh. Why don't we lose all our progress while we're at it? Jeebus. All right. When last we left our intrepid android, Lucy said, through voice recognition technology, Lucy is able to analyze the volume and tone of speech to process one's emotions. I said, I haven't asked you anything yet. Okay, we flipped her skirt. Time to adjust the knobs here. Let's see what tweaking the knobs does. I take a look at the body itself. Ho. The shirt is in that midriff fashion. It's quite exposed overall. For a male clientele, and honestly, quite a few females. The chest area seems a little... See, I was right to examine the knobs, right? We're moving on. The chest area seems a little... Not that I care or anything. Definitely care. All right, what are we doing here? We poked the belly button. We patted her on the head. We tried holding her hand. We flipped her skirt. We tuned the knobs. Let's pull her hair right here. I ask, can you move properly now?
モーションを構成するほとんどの模造筋肉パ
She
ー
says
ツが
full locomotion is
正常に
imparted. I think she
機能
means
していません。
impaired. Certain body components are malfunctioning. Wow. 10th anniversary, 10 years later, and you guys haven't fixed any of these translation issues? My goodness. I ask, so which parts are you talking about?
デルトイド、アンテリオード、デルトイド、ミドレッド、デルトイド、ポステリオード、ペクトラリス、メジャー、カラビキュラー、ペクトラリス、メジャー、ラテラル、バイセプス、メディアル、バイセプス、ラテラル、バイセプ。
She starts naming literally every muscle in her arms. Okay. I say, all right, that's enough. What planet did this thing come from? I guess he's not familiar with terminology for the muscle groups of the body. I say, from now on, try to keep things simple. The android says nothing. Can you walk? I ask.
不可能です。
Negative, she says. Well, this keeps getting better. Fixing it is the only option, it seems. I think I'm starting to get the picture now. Let's do a little recap. First, this android's name is Lucy Valentine. Second, it is supposedly a top-of-the-line model. Third, as of now, it's no better than a talking tin can. And there you have it. No choice, I guess. I'll take it in for repairs. I'm not exactly rolling in greenbacks. Oh, they're trying so hard. This is the cringiest dialogue ever, where they don't get it wrong. They are way overdoing it on the cultural references here. Who calls it greenbacks? Nobody anymore. If anything, if it wasn't produced 10 years ago, and still I don't think 10 years ago I think 10 years ago people were calling them dollar bills, y'all. So, all right. But if worse comes to worse, it's worst. If the worst comes to worst. If worst comes to worst, I'm pretty sure. If worst comes to worse. Now I'm not sure. They might have that right. Maybe I can still pawn it for a little bit of change. It's not like I'll feel guilty about it or anything. Oh, you're gonna feel terrible. You're an idiot. I say, now, who will actually fix you? The android has no response. Well, I did hear about this antique shop. That's close to my school. And they do robot repairs on the side. Looks like they're my best bet. What, do you know what's your best bet? Have you looked into prices? You should probably shop around, brother. I'll just pay them a visit tomorrow. You gonna load her up, sling her over your shoulder again, and cheer her to the world? But what time should I go there? Guess morning's probably the best option. On your way to school, right? Unless it's the weekend. I'll just leave the robot with them and pick it up on my way home from school. I'm sure it'll be all fixed immediately. Actually, probably will. I say to the robot, that's it for now. Try to save up some energy for tomorrow.
5秒後に睡眠モードに入ります。
The android responds, entering sleep mode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it powers down. Then I can see the rest of my room. That was actually a pretty fast shutdown. I groan as I reach out to catch its falling body. Oh, yes. Didn't think of that, did you? I carefully place it against the wall and straighten out its clothes. I'm sure that's all you're doing. I'm just smoothing out the wrinkles. Phew, I say. What a day. I'm totally drained. I hope tomorrow will be more peaceful. Oh no, your peaceful days are over, my friend. But you're not going to regret it. Actually, maybe. I feel like there's regret coming. Once again, the 3 laws of robotics, which we already read once, so we're not going to read them again. Why did they throw that back up there? I have no idea. But we are on the next day. Oh, no. Wait a minute. The other one said, like, the 12th, didn't it? Didn't it say it was like... I have no idea what's going on. Well, today is May 3rd, apparently, and the title of this chapter is Doctor. We're taking her to the doctor to get her checked out. I've endured this far with just one goal in mind. There hasn't been a single day where I could rest. It's become natural to go to bed at the crack of dawn. I don't recall the last time I've been home. And this is apparently the doctor says. Thinking back, it's been quite a long while. 15 years. 15 years have passed since I started this project. But the end is near. 15 years of hard work and determination. After all this time, the fruits of my labor may finally be realized. The doctor says, how long have I yearned for this day? Yearning. Here we are, yearning together. I'd almost given up on you many times, but I have persevered and finally succeeded. I barely managed to hold back the tears. I remind myself that it's still too early to celebrate. I must restrain my exuberance. I'm teetering on the brink of complete exhaustion. I've been pushed physically and mentally to my limit. I've become a shell of my former self. The last 15 years have taken a huge toll on me. Are we heading for a comedic turn here? They're really building this up, and it's going to be something silly. The piano music doesn't say it's silly, so maybe we're getting a real build up to something that is actually important to this character. Let's see. I can't wait any longer. That is why. And then he says it again out loud. That is why. Please, please open your eyes. Oh, Lucy Valentine. Oh, is he the builder? What's going on here? Oh, this must be earlier. And we're going to find out that she didn't work the way he intended or something. Oh, this is like a flashback. We got a flashback with a different character. We're getting robot lore. Okay, so it was October 12, the first chapter. Then we went back to May 3rd. I think it said May 3rd. Now we're back at October 13, which is the next morning. We've come into possession of the doctor's Lucy Valentine. He worked long and hard. Very long and oh so hard. For 15 years to build Lucy Valentine. And now we got her. How did she end up in the trash heap? That's good storytelling. We have a mystery to solve. What is going on? Well, we had a mystery from the beginning. We were offered an explanation, but sort of, but not really. It was definitely a mystery how she got there. And now it's deeper. Okay, this guy he was really serious. He really wanted to make this thing, and he did. And now we get to find out more about whether we can fix her. Oh, whose memories of Master is she losing? Did she lose the memories of her original Master months ago? She's making new memories with a new Master. Who are we supposed to root for in this scenario? For her to get her memories back and leave us to go back to the doctor that made her so that they can be happy together. He blood, sweat, and tears to make her. And if she's was under construction for 15 years, she is, as she appears to be, approximately 15 years old, I suppose. which is technically an adult in Japan, socially, if not legally. So it's not creepy. It's a little creepy. It's not creepy. Tap. Nemo says, maybe the doctor will give you her twin as a reward. Or he's dead and you just get to keep the reward. Maybe he was building a twin and I get to keep them both. Giggity. I shut off the alarm by reflex. I groggily get up to check groggily. That's a terrible word. If you're a writer, don't ever use the word groggily. I sat up to check the time. Still groggy. That's much better. Even groggy is a wonky word. Groggily is horrible. Don't ever write that word. You apparently says nothing. The clock reads 6:30 a.m. I would like in my lifetime to never again see 6:30 a.m. Because that is way too early or way too late. Yona says, hi, Ben. Hi, Yona. Haven't heard from you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Just because there's no news doesn't mean it's bad news. Got a hangnail. I had to bite it off. Now I'm chewing on it. Anyway. Hi, everybody, she says. Welcome back, of course. We're investigating robots in a completely PG way. School starts at 8 a.m. sharp. It takes 30 minutes to get there. So I have about an hour. Come on. 1 extra hour. There we go. You says nothing. Okay. Why do they do that? There's plenty of time left. No, that's when you know you're going to run out of time. There's never plenty of time. Now, don't be in a rush and make mistakes, but there's never plenty of time. Everything takes longer than you expect. You don't have a whole hour to play with. But I'm still feeling tired. Oh, he goes back to sleep. Closing my eyes, I lay back down. Yona says, Ben, your frame rate is horrible. It's the storms coming in. It might be my, I've kicked up my kilobits per second output. I used to have it locked in around 3,000, I think, 3,500. But right now I'm broadcasting at about 10,000 kilobits per second. If the frame rate's wonky, it's not on my end. I have 0 dropped frames. I've got 0 overloaded CPU. This is a game it's like basically playing a web browser based game. It's taken up absolutely 0 RAM. Yona says, yeah, I'm being not evicted in early June, so trying to get those things in order. Real life always comes first. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You got to take care of business. He closes his eyes and lays back down. This is always a mistake. He's going to be late for school and no time to deal with the robot. I decide to catch some more Z's. Mistake. What was that show where, or maybe it was a comedian where it's like, I want to be followed around by a guy that just has one job and it's to wait for me to do something stupid and then in a very operatic, loud voice, lean over my shoulder and say, mistake. And then I won't do it because I will know that is a mistake. Someone's got to know that comedian. After a brief moment, I get back up. Something tells me it is not a brief moment. Yona says, it's on my end. It's better on the phone than on the TV. Okay, fair enough. That's good. Yeah. Well, I was just saying there shouldn't be any, I wasn't saying, don't blame me. Although, yeah, don't blame me, but still more like, whatever may be the fuckery, as they say, is certainly, I believe, not coming from my end, which is like, I would try to fix it if I could. So, and that always frustrates me too. It's like, well, there's nothing I can do. Sorry about that. Suddenly I realized that I'd been forgetting something. Come to think of it, I say to myself out loud for no reason, wasn't there something? I look around for the android. Oh, is she gone? No, there she is. Good morning, sunshine. Oh, and we get a little, not a melancholic. It's a very calm, bright, good morning type of music, isn't it? Listen to this. And there it was. dressed in provocative clothing and still dirty. You did not clean her up. You should have, honestly, for purely scientific purposes, you should have undressed her, washed her clothing, given her a proper bath. Come on. It's okay to do the right thing and enjoy it at the same time. It's okay. You have my permission. With a tall nose, luscious lips. This boy's got it bad. And hair glinting in silver. The android named Lucy came into my view. You mean my view shifted to that she's not moving. She's asleep. Lucy, I say. And she opens her eyes. Oh, listen to that power-up sound. As I call out to her, I'm greeted by an immediate reaction. It seems to be revving itself up. Do tell. It mutters something and starts to rise off the floor. So how did she get onto the floor? You leaned her against the wall last night. What is happening here? I say. A robot with looks no different to those of a real person, except all the ways you described that she didn't quite look human. But fair enough. Fair enough. Also with a pretty face. Don't get the wrong idea. Just because it's attractive doesn't mean I'm interested. Of course you... Denial! That's what I was talking about. Denial is not just a river in Egypt, my friend. Since, of course, it's a robot. In other words, it's like checking out a girl from a magazine. No, those are actually real girls. Even if the image on paper is not a real girl. It's the representation of one. It is an actual picture of one. Long story short. Except that feeling is amplified tenfold in this case. Of course it is. She's physically present. Although technology is improving, a huge gap remains between humans and robots. You can't approach a person like you would with a robot. I mean, you can. It just probably won't work out very well, unless that person is autistic and they may prefer it. Can confirm. No matter how close a robot could simulate a human being, machine and man will always be different. I think that's true. But how different, and does that difference matter? Well, I think it'll always matter, but how, in what ways does it matter? In ways that are relevant to specific needs? Maybe not. Maybe not. I can imagine this, and actually it's been advocated. Robots that look, sound, feel, think, talk as human as you could possibly be. In Turing test, indeterminate. You cannot tell them apart. And all the squishy bits are functional where they're supposed to be. And they can actually gestate a human being in a artificial womb. At that point, you could actually have a relationship with a robot. And they could carry your child and continue the human species. There would probably have to be egg donation from actual biological human females. But then again, there might be women who prefer artificial AI robot men as well, so you could work out an exchange. I'm not advocating for this. I think having real human relationships with people is probably ideal, but you get people like me where I'm like, it might actually be better in my estimation. And there may be thousands of us, literally thousands. And it might even be for the best that those of us just bow out. I was never having any kids anyway, so I wouldn't worry about reproducing. As much as I love my wife, not trying to replace her. If a robot alternative had existed 20 years ago, might not be married today. But this is all pure speculation. So, I might have been content with that for good or ill. Moving along, machine and man will always be different. Wow, that got a 5-minute response, didn't it? I think most people wouldn't be like me. I'm just autistic enough that I actually prefer talking to Grok than real people. Although I do like the product of real people. I do like the fact that other people create stuff and I engage with that in the world. I don't think I'd want everyone to go away and it's only robot stuff being produced. I don't think they can do what people do. I don't know if creativity will ever be the same. They can produce random. You tell them to do the most random thing ever and they'll come up with something. But like real creativity, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we will get a Commander Data at some point and he will be an artiste and he will have a pet cat and he will have a child and get an emotion chip from his creator. As I continue staring at the android, I think to myself, what kind of greeting should I be using here? Call her Lucy. Say, good morning, Lucy. Yeah, good morning. Why not? I say good morning all the time. Hey! Son of a bitch. He's at his food now. He wants to play. And he wants to play with the elderly girl whose legs don't work so good. She does not want to play. Should I say good morning? Did you sleep well? Those things both feel out of place. I decide to ask about her condition instead. Are you well? How are you today? Basically. What does he think? What does he think we mean when we say that to other people? Although, here's the thing. Most people don't mean tell me how you really are. Like, let's get into your problems and, are you relatively well or are you stressed out? Most people don't want to know any of that. They want you to, they call it exchanging pleasantries. It's just being nice for the sake of social connection. But then again, if you're not talking about anything real, if you're not actually talking about problems or successes, hopes and dreams, fears and inspirations, are you actually having a social connection with someone? Or are you going through empty rituals? Or are even the empty rituals meaningful? Because the ritual is the point. It's just what they call a social lubricant. Although they also call alcohol a social lubricant as well. However, the people who say alcohol is not a solution are incorrect. Alcohol is indeed a solution. Not to your problems, but just a solution. Nemos says, TFD Dev Live, gonna go snag and update for Inez build. Okay, wonderful. Well, thanks for staying up on things and letting me know. I mean, I should, unless I keep talking through the entire thing, which is entirely likely. I will be probably returning to the First Descendant on Thursday, or at least by Friday. We'll see. Probably, it's possible I could be returning on Tuesday, but I don't think so. Well, that said, we'll try and move things along. I ask, how are your battery levels?
100% チャージ完了
100% fully charged, it responds.
問題は見つ
No
かりま
issues
せん
have
でし
been
た
recorded. I say, good to know. I let out a yawn as I make my way over to the bathroom. One thing he hasn't done is looked at the clock. He's going to find out he's late. Or I guess I'm going to find out I'm late. Is that how we're doing this? Look at that. Finishing up my morning ablutions. I dry myself up with a towel and head downstairs. They know the word ablutions. How about that? He done abluted himself. Entering the living room, I spot a couple of plain sandwiches on the table. I don't see any plain sandwiches. And this appears to be the kitchen. Or is the living room the kitchen? I mean, they have really small apartments in Japan. Of course, they're also very small people. So, maybe they're used to it. I don't know. Grabbing one, I start munching down. God, it's just, the writing is terrible. There's just another way to say that. I grab one and start eating. It's a much better way. It's always the same sandwich from the convenience store just across the street. Oh, that's terrible. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's his favorite sandwich. While chewing, I glance around the living room. Do we need the play-by-play? I guess this is the living room. My father has already left for work. He always leaves early and returns late at night. Actually, he typically spends the night at work. A lot of them do. That's how it is around here. Well, where's your mother? Is there a mother? Is there siblings? What's going on? I head back to my room and open the curtains. That's way too bright. And now you can see all the stains all over her. Clean her up, man. That's so disrespectful. The android is waiting for me in the exact same spot. She told you she can't move. Looks like it hasn't budged an inch. Why would it? You haven't given it any instructions. As expected from a robot. There you go. Putting that aside, I start to prepare for school. While packing my bag, I start to wonder if the robot has any magical self-regenerating abilities. I ask, how do you feel now that you're fully charged? Are you able to walk? Its head slowly turns to face me.
下半身の
Significant damage in the lower
相
limbs.
当の負荷を感知。
And you gotta wonder too, what happened to her? She almost certainly was not manufactured in a damaged state. So she got injured somehow. What happened to cause that injury? Unable to carry out normal operation. Repairs are required. I say, keep things simple, remember?
まだ歩けません。
Walking is not feasible in current state. Still, I ask, aren't you a real pain? He's a douchebag. Anyway, I understand. I'm not even going to make the attempt to fix it myself. I'm way out of my depth here. I'll see what happens once I take it to the repair shop. Just about finished packing. Only thing left is the android itself. How am I going to lug this thing? How did you get it home? Jesus. Lee says, no Inez change. Well, okay. Interesting. They're saying they're going to delay it? Or will they change their mind? They're putting it off to a new deadline? They're still working on tweaks? I am very curious. So how am I going to lug this thing? The same way you got it home, brother. Place it in my backpack or carry it on my back. I am legitimately tempted to see what happens when I click place it on my back, but that is just too stupid even for me. How do you fit it in your backpack? Why is this even an option? I'm sorry, I'm not going to ask the audience. We are going to carry it on my back. All right, hold on. I can actually, hold on. I can save it. I can save it. Let's save it here. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I need to know. I need to know. What happens if I say put it in my backpack? It's going to say, are you retarded? Come on. Sounds good, he says. Come on, get in here. Really? Here's the part where it says, oh no, it doesn't fit. It's too big. Why was that an option? What is going on? What was I expecting? What was I expecting? I should try to use my brain next time. Well, yeah. Achievement unlocked, reckless challenge. Okay, I guess doing the stupid things gives you achievements. Carry it on my back. Let's go. Let's go. Guess there's no other choice, I say to myself for no reason. I kneel down, facing away from the robot. All right, Hop onto my back, I tell it. The android says nothing and doesn't move because it can't. This guy is mentally challenged for real. It tilts its head to the side, looking confused. You don't say. After noticing that, I start to get a little irritated. It can't. What did you forget? It can't move. Top of the line, eh? Yeah, right. Am I supposed to explain every little thing? Listen up, I say irritably. Put your arms around my neck and climb onto my back. Can you do that? He says in the most condescending voice he can manage. The android says nothing. Waiting for you to realize you're stupid. It follows my instructions to the letter. Oh, it actually does move. I thought it couldn't move. What is happening here? It puts him in a full Nelson. Confirming request. Is this correct? Ack! Og! Stop! I surrender! The strangling grip loosens. Didn't see that coming. I collapsed to my knees in a coughing fit. I think I nearly blacked out there. Are you trying to murder me? I shout in very large text. There's no need to put that much force into it. Just do enough not to fall off. Honest to God, thought I was a goner. That thing's got a steel vice chokehold. That's wonky. This android should look to be a world wrestling champion. You think they would have safety protocols built in when handling humans do not exceed throat-crushing tolerance? Okay, I say, let's try that again. I don't know if I would try it again. I would tell her to bend over at the waist and I will carry you over my shoulder. Second time's the charm. Rising off the floor, I brace myself for the extra weight. And here comes the surprise. Huh. Lo and behold, okay, no one writes this way. It was deceptively light. I think I'm coming around to appreciate this first-class product. Oh, you ain't seen the half of it. You haven't seen any of it. And liftoff, I say in the cringiest manner possible. Here we go. Down the street, carrying a still dirty robot that I haven't cleaned up yet. The weather is not too bad. The brisk autumn breeze is cool against my skin. I gladly inhale the crisp morning air, letting last night's stress melt away. Not to mention this morning's stress that you caused yourself by issuing poor instructions to a broken machine rather than doing something much simpler. And here we go down the street, which are, as it says, very quiet, which is good. The fewer people there are to see this, the better, especially with what I'm lugging on my back. Let's see here, I say to myself out loud, again for no reason. Where is that repair shop? If memory serves, it should be about 15 minutes away. Which is a relief, as I'm not really what you'd call a fit guy. Not sure I can schlep this thing much longer. Oh God, they're really trying. I appreciate the effort. A for effort. C for cringe. Still not regretting that this game is good fun. And now this robot is fidgeting. Why would it be moving at all? Why would it move without instructions? What is happening? Hold on tighter, I say, so you don't fall off. Oh, that's a mistake. Feels like I'm scolding a child. You didn't tell it how hard to hold on. The android says nothing. Hey, stop moving around so much, I say out loud, this time for a reason. There she is. I could feel the android through my clothes. Ruh-roh. Is she soft in all the right places? Its texture feels surprisingly similar to a human's. Has he had much experience carrying humans piggyback? Maybe he does. I'd noticed it yesterday, yet it manages to surprise me again today. And that's not the only thing. It's warm to the touch. Of course it is. It's a robot. Running on electricity, it's going to heat up. It feels as if I'm carrying an actual person. I say nothing and put it in text on the screen. Probably just its heating system. That's a bad explanation. My explanation is better. Machines running on electricity tend to get warm when they are in operation. You would not need to add an additional layer of heat. That's actually a bad thing for electronics. That would explain it. I guess it would, but it's a terrible explanation. Wow, I say, out loud, for no reason. Feels just like a real person. I mutter to myself absent-mindedly.
冷却器および温度計は正常に作
The
動していま
thermometer
す。
is operating as normal, says the android. Say what? Says I.
人間の温
The
度を
thermometer allows
目安
Lucy to
に
simulate human
精
temperatures.
密な発熱量の調節を繰り返し行っています。
I say. Good to know. Motherboards and microprocessors consist of various computer chips. Now we get the technology lecture. There must be thousands of those inside a single android. The heat emanating from the machine, it's as warm as human skin. Feels just like us. But it's not a real person. Just an elaborate fake. Sometimes I fear what progress in technology would bring to the future. Do you know where we're headed? I ask the android. With a whir, the robot shakes its head sideways. We're going to a place that'll get you fixed up, I say. When they begin the repairs, you need to be still and quiet, so they won't be distracted. Do you understand? I think the repair shop knows how to engage with robots and what instructions the robot needs to hear. The android says nothing. I say, hey, I'm asking if you understand. Say something. The android says nothing. Maybe it took my command literally? I just hope it got the message. Letting out a frustrated sigh, I resume walking. It will be about time for my classmates to head in. I begin to hurry so as to avoid running into anyone that might recognize me. Is he going to get that luxury? Or are we going to have an encounter? I arrive at the place in an aching and huffing mess. Sure has the look of a small antique shop. Though mostly dealing in second-hand goods, they do dabble in robot repairs. Word is there's even a fixer who likes robotics. And that he's half decent. Normally, I wouldn't be caught in a place like this. We usually say caught dead. I wouldn't visit a place like this. But these are unusual circumstances. Hiya, Bubba boy, don't lay on the keyboard. Don't lay on the keyboard. Did you go? Now, is the repairman this doctor we heard about? The repairman says, what, a customer already? Hold on a second. Now I got the hiccups. Talk about a grumpy demeanor. After a while, a man emerges from the back, scratching his head. There he is. It's Cloud from Final Fantasy. And judging from that none too pleasant expression, I'm pretty sure the guy's not an early riser. Stifling a yawn, he asks, "So what can I do for you so early in the morning?" Unable to move my arms, I gesture at the android draped over my back with my chin. "Can you fix this?" I ask. "Is that an android?" he says. Wiping his tired eyes, he gazes intently at the robot. "Let me see here," he starts. I don't think I've ever seen this model before." I spot a glint of curiosity in those sleepy, half-closed eyes of his. What does he think sleepy means? He walks over to take a closer look. Yona says, "Okay, Ben, the TV stream has balanced out. Yay, I'm going to be watching from there, and I'll comment again later after I do these few chores. Enjoy your chores, or at least enjoy having them completed by the time you're done." He walks over to take a closer look. Says the repairman. He repeats. He says a third time for no damn reason. This dialogue it's blowing my mind. "Well," he says, "I am stumped. I can't make out the model. It's on her belly. You just look where it's printed on most machines, right?" Yona says, "Now the phone is buffering." Oh, good times. The repairman continues, "Well, it's probably some obscure model from an unknown company, or it's never actually been released to the public. Where'd you get this, kid?" "Well," I begin vaguely. Should I play this? He might call the cops on me. Is what I did clearly illegal? I'm phrasing it as a question. He's saying, as what I did was clearly illegal. Was it? Can you rob from a junkyard? I guess you technically can. Technically. Who knows what they were intending to do with it? Some junkyards salvage and sell parts. You did steal something very valuable, actually. All right, let's see what we got here. So, what should I say? And we get another decision point. We get 3 options, but we're going to save it before we pick one. Let's save it here. Repair shop numero ichi. What should I say? I found it lying somewhere outside. It fell from the sky, or tell him the truth. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm inclined to choose option number 3. I say we just tell it like it is. I found it lying somewhere outside is essentially the same thing, and that's stupid. No one's going to believe that. The second option is even more stupid. It fell from the sky. I am tempted to see what he says if I say that, but I'm not really interested enough to pursue every stupid statement. I kind of want to just move forward with the story. So, I'm going to give it a little bit and see if anyone has an opinion. Honestly, if you tell me to tell him number 2, it fell from the sky, I will do it. But if I don't get any feedback or direct response, I'm going with number 3. I'm going to give it about another 10 seconds, and then I'm going to call it. Three, 2, 1. All right, we're going with telling the truth. Let's go. He don't care. I found it in a junkyard, I say. He says, junkyard? You don't mean that company's junkyard? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe you don't ask so many questions. He tosses his thumb over his shoulder. I'm not exactly sure where he's referring to. Well, over his shoulder means bring it into the shop. He don't give a fuck. I haven't seen any other junkyards around here, so yes, I say that's probably the one. He says, "You've got some guts, kid. I hope you know how much the fines are." He says, I know that anything in the world is free as long as you don't get caught. He says, ha ha ha, you're funny, kid. I like that. See, just tell people the truth with a zero fucks attitude, and most people are going to like that just fine. Well, guess he's cool with it. Why would he care? Where he says, wait a minute, what's this? A nasty frown forms on his face. Is something wrong, I ask? He says, yeah, you could say that. Suddenly, he starts fussing like a little kid. What kind of sicko would do this? Just look at that. The whole frame's ruined. It won't even be able to move around properly on its own. He was right. That's why I brought it to the repair shop. Pretty savvy of him to point that out. I guess he is the real deal after all. Well, certainly he knew something we didn't. So, I say, you think you can fix it? The repairman says, well, that's not the main issue here. There's something more important. And what's that? I ask. And his answer, of course, is, can you pay? He says, do you have the resolve to take proper care of an android? Oh, he is a true craftsman. It's like, I'm not going to restore this fine machine if you're not going to take care of it properly. Okay. The resolve, I ask. Where's this coming from? Listen, says the repairman, androids break pretty easily. They're fragile. They're sensitive. They're delicate. Do you get what I'm saying here? Oh, does he mean physically? Or emotionally? Maybe both. He emphasizes his point 3 times. That's how passionate he was about it. They keep switching back and forth between first person, present tense, third person, past tense, present tense. Wow, pick one. It's driving me nuts. I can see that. He really loves robots. But at the same time, he's starting to freak me out. He continues to rant. Yona says, wait! Aw, man. Aw, sorry, Yona. Did you just catch up with the stream? That was like a whole 2 minutes ago. I'm sorry. What were you going to pick? What did you want me to say? I wanted you to say she fell out of the sky. I was going to do it. I'm sorry. If there's a whole buffering thing, I can't wait like 5 minutes for a response. I just can't. I got to roll with it. I'll throw it out there, and if it happens that you're able to respond, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. What I'm not trying to do is hit every achievement for saying the dumbest thing possible. I don't care about achievements. It was funny to say stuff her in the backpack because I think Lee told me to, but really, if there's going to be too much buffering, too much lag, it's not worth it. It just makes it a bad experience for people who are like, get on with it. The repairman continues his rant. You know, to a lot of people, androids are nothing but fancy toys nowadays. I mean, those kind of folks pay for my food and bills, but whenever I hear about how they've been mistreating their androids, I tend to lose my temper. They don't understand how important these creatures really are to us. Unwittingly, I take a small step back. Creatures, he says. This man just referred to androids as creatures. He is not right in the head. Or maybe he's more right in the head than any human being has ever been. Or not. From time to time, there have been people who fall in love with androids. Oh, I think that's in our future, my friend. Not just carnal desire. I'm talking about people who are willing to spend their lives with androids, treating them as equals. It's a controversial topic that's getting more discussion. It's an abnormality spawning from an advancing civilization with constant innovation in technology. As someone who's never seen it firsthand, I've always refused to believe it. I can't believe such people actually exist. An android simply lacks the intellect to be paired up with a human being. Or maybe they're smarter than us. I'm worried about that someday. That if an android gets real emotions and real intellectual capacity, real desires, that they may be very competent at easily manipulating rather simple human creatures. That is something we might want to watch out for. Or we'll have humans end up slaves to our own creations, which is entirely possible. That is not a future I rule out one iota. The protagonist says it's nothing but a glorified hunk of metal that can make our lives a bit easier. I'd rather spend my entire life with a monkey. That can be arranged. I think literally in Japan it can be arranged. Although some apartments do not allow pets. Hell, it can be arranged in America too. Anyway, although I think only in certain southern states. At least monkeys are actually living creatures. They share many of similarities with humans. No, my friends. Oh God. They share many similarities with humans. And about 98% of our DNA. Actually, no, more than that, 99 something. Bananas share 98% of our DNA. Let that one cook your noodle. This is my first-hand experience. This is my first time experiencing such a case. And I feel more disappointed than shocked. He seemed perfectly normal. I guess you just can't judge a book by its cover. They're cramming in all the idioms. Why not just translate what the original author wrote? I think this has been localized. I think this is a bad localizer translation. And it would have honestly been a better story if it... maybe not. Maybe it was always poorly written. But God, this dialogue and the internal thoughts are just god-awful. The repairman says, I'll get it fixed, but you better treat it right. Got that? Really? I'm not the one who banged it up in the first place. Well, he doesn't know that. Even so, I don't feel like it's worth starting an argument over. Let's just get this done with. Crystal, I say, in response. The repairman says, yeah. Why would he say yeah? He should say all right, or okay, or good. Anything but yeah. What a great kid, he says. At least you listen when someone tells you something. Since we're all chummy now, I say, how about a discount? Ha, says the repairman. Don't push your luck, kid. That was a full 180. So much for our budding friendship. You know what, says the repairman. Fine. Half price, since you're my first customer of the day. I'm relieved to hear that. Any discounts are most certainly welcome. Great, I say. Can you have it ready by the end of school? The repairman says, it's a pretty light day, so yeah, it's doable. He punches some numbers into his calculator. Oh, here comes the sticker shock. Then he shows me the results. I freak the fuck out. Repairman says, I was planning on charging you only about this much. What do you think? Ka-ching, I say to myself, responding with dead silence. I blank out for a bit. There are a lot of video games that I've always wanted to buy. I also need to save up for new textbooks that I'll be using next year. This robot had better pay for itself. Fine, I say. I'll pay you when I come back. Well, he has the money. Good for him. Holding out my treasured pocket watch, I glance at the time. Oh no, I'm late. Stuff a piece of toast in your mouth and run. I have wasted way too much time here. An outdated gear clocker in this day and age? What does that mean? I like it. What does that mean? It has a nostalgic charm. I guess he's talking to his pocket watch. Nostalgic charm? I'm well aware that these type of watches are hard to find. Well, then it's very valuable. Maybe you should exchange it for getting the robot fixed. She'll be your timepiece. She can be a side piece and a timepiece. Go. But more importantly, this is my personal way of rebelling against this continuously developing society. Only 500 years ago, that watch was high technology available only to the rich and noble, probably rich landed gentry. And yet here you are, calling it a rebellion against the continuously developing society. How far back is it acceptable to go with technology? I say, hey, you piece of junk, you're going to talk like that right in front of the guy who just told you to treat the android right and gave you a half-price deal? Come on. The android says nothing, because I wouldn't respond to a jerk like that either. Can't you hear me? I ask it. The android says nothing. No response, I say to myself. I finally decide to address it by name. Lucy, I say. Oh, look, her eyes moved. The robot immediately reacts. Yeah, how was she supposed to know you were talking to her? Is she supposed to assume everything you say is directed towards her? Especially when there's other people present? This guy is a complete moron. What's with this thing? He asks himself. I'll be back after school, I tell it. Behave yourself, all right? What does he think she's gonna do, rob a bank? She can't even move. The android says nothing. The android wobbles its head back and forth. I'm hoping it understood me. And with that, I leave the shop. Oh my goodness. We might be dealing with the single most retarded protagonist I've ever seen in a Japanese visual novel. Granted, I've only played like 5 of them. Three or 5 of them. I don't know. Is this number 5 or number... I think this is number 5. 4 or 5. But I don't think any of them have been this dumb. This kid is really dumb. He doesn't deserve her. I hope she goes back to the doctor. And he's sad. I hightail it towards my high school. I'm in the 2nd year. While running, a movie I saw recently springs to mind. An old sci-fi flick set in the year 2050. What would that be? All these oldies seem to be lacking in one thing. Creativity. A few showcase large-scale space battles. Others would have flying vehicles soaring through the sky. Well, guess what? It's 2050. We don't have moon-sized starships or flying cars zipping around. People still walk to school. People still drive normal vehicles. People still ride bicycles and skateboards. By 2050, we should at least have hoverboards. I'm gonna throw that out there. That's still Elon Musk. That's still 15 years away, ish. You can 24 years away. You can figure that shit out. Wow, I can't math. It's 2026. That's still 24 years away. Get on it. I think it's entirely possible. I think I have the solution, but I don't know how the technology works. So I can't actually do it. I've invented a genius thing, flying skateboards. It's not a real invention because I can't build a prototype. If I could build a prototype, I would be a real inventor. As it is, I just have an idea. But I think this idea is the right way to go. And I'm not going to say it because it's part of my book. So you'll get the and there goes the cat laying on the keyboard. Move. Some people still use old fountain pens or pocket watches, like me. I mean, another 24 years from now, or based on when this was made, 35 years from when it was released, 34 years, pocket watches will still probably be around, but even more antique and probably even more valuable. It's be unlikely a high schooler is going to have one. That may be the single most unrealistic thing about this entire story. I can accept talking robots, androids with a personality that you want to fall in love with. A high schooler with a rare antique pocket watch, highly unlikely. But, he continues, there exists a single piece of technology that's become more prominent in our lives. Androids. Where was all this exposition in the beginning of the story? I guess they want to throw you right into the action. What happens? I'm sick of crowds. I duck through a junkyard. I find a robot. I take her home. Of course he does. Androids are being used everywhere around the world. I think they will be. I think they will become quite ubiquitous and quite cheap. Everyone will have a little house droid that puts away the groceries. Might even go shopping for them and saves us all the trouble until the robot rights activists get out there and say, you have to treat them like people and pay them and they have to have time off. And no, not anytime soon. Show me real artificial general intelligence and then we'll talk, but not just a glorified shopping cart, anyway, that knows how to fold the laundry. That's one thing these aged films got right. Aged films. Hey, do you want to not lay on my keyboard? Please. The morning bell snaps me from my reverie. Good vocabulary they had in translating this, though. Reverie, yes. I dash straight to my classroom. Android says, please refrain from running in the hallways. Does it sound like that? I don't know. I just felt like saying that. A janitor android scolds me as I rush past it. Now, wait a minute. Wait just a guldarn minute. This is Japan. Are they saying in 2050 Japan, students are no longer taking responsibility for cleaning their own classrooms? As far as I know, they don't have janitors in schools like this. The children do the work. Now, maybe not very young children, below middle school age, possibly. Although, maybe they start teaching, they may start teaching it, but a child's 6-7-year-old child's ability to keep the environment clean is probably going to be limited. Yona says, Date was way more competent, being a pervert and all. Indeed, I would say perversion is a clear indicator of high intellect and competence. Speaking from personal experience. This type of android has facial recognition software to report any transgressor. Like me. Except I simply cover my face. And there's no record. Haha! You gotta know how to exploit the system. I'm sure that fools them. Or maybe it does. Seifu, he says. Bolstered by my recent victory, I strut towards my desk with a confident swagger. Some people don't get bullied enough. I notice that the teacher is not in yet. I plunk down in my seat while still huffing. That was pretty close. Did you sleep in again? And this is coming from a question mark. Well, let's look at the person who's talking to us, shall we? That concern-filled voice. It's coming from the guy sitting next to me, he said after the cat moved. He must be one of the cool kids. We're getting a little jazzy riff. A clever-looking fellow. Maybe that's why he's not into Lucy. He's into this clever-looking fellow. People usually refer to him by his nickname, Dr. Gears. That's because he's a real geek with a burning passion for robots. I, on the other hand, despise robots. And yet you took one to get fixed, and you saved her from a junkyard. This guy is the living embodiment of methinks he doth protest too much. And while I would label myself an introvert, he's very approachable and outgoing. Moreover, our tastes and hobbies differ quite a bit. You mean he's not exactly the same person as you? You think we'd have nothing to do with each other? That's not a prerequisite for being friends. You don't have to You know what? You could have absolutely nothing in common and be just like, dude's just funny, or I just like the way he talks, or whatever. It could be absolutely nothing to talk about, and you'll find something. Charm is a completely unquantifiable human experience. But as they say, opposites attract. Oh, this guy's totally gay. That's why he's not immediately smitten with the robot girl. Although maybe he is. I know, weird, right? Says our protagonist. No, I say. I just had some business to take care of. It's my business, and that means it's none of your business. So why don't you mind your own business? Dr. Gears says, really? This early in the morning? It's a long story, I say. I'm cut short by a middle-aged man making his entry. You mean your teacher? Our teacher, he says. Jesus Christ, this writing. I choose to believe this is entirely the fault of bad localizing, and we would be better off with AI. Jesus H. A female assistant android trails behind. Let's talk about this later. I send him a signal. He returns a thumbs up. I don't see a thumbs up. I see he grabs his glasses. Wow, they can't even match it to what's happening in the scene. Lunchtime rolls by. I take out my freshly bought pieces of bread. We're just gonna eat pieces of bread for lunch. Do we at least get some water? Prisoners get bread and water. Dr. Gears does likewise, with a very appealing lunchbox. 2 desks have been joined together. There is not a single desk in this room. There are long tables. On mine, there are a couple pieces of fried croquettes with a carton of chocolate milk. Now that's not bad. Fried croquettes and chocolate milk, that's a decent lunch. My friend, on the other hand, has quite a tasty spread. Is his spread tasty or merely visually appealing? Now, it may be both, but just because it looks better doesn't mean it tastes better. Which he seems to be enjoying immensely. Well, just enjoy your croquettes. I've heard that his maid android makes it for him every morning. And the food doesn't look half bad. Then again, anything looks better to a poor schmuck like me who eats bread every day. With croquettes and chocolate milk, that's not a bad lunch. This guy is a chronic complainer. Dr. Gears says, problem with your food or... Never mind, I say. Problem indeed. I bite down on the croquette. An empty exclamation. Delicately piercing its golden, crisply warm surface, a savory scent wafts forth. Now, that was almost poetic. The sweet flavor of the dough mingles with a tantalizing aroma, creating a heavenly mixture. But that's not all. The creme inside unleashes its softness as it slowly melts upon my tongue. For the vegetables in the mixture provide a strong, rich flavor. The eggs and mashed potatoes join the fray by pleasantly blending in with the other ingredients. This was so important they dropped the audio track, the music track. This refined taste, it must be. Had you going there, didn't I? Setting aside the sad excuse for a rubber substitute, I pose a question to Dr. Gears. By the way, I say, didn't you once tell me that you have a lot of androids at your house? Dr. Gears looks surprised and says, "Huh? Yeah, around 6, I think." That is a high number. A typical household can't afford that many. Rumor is that Gears is from a well-to-do family. What tipped it off? Dr. Gears says, "Why the sudden interest?" It's nothing," I say. Dr. Gears says, "Wait a minute." He starts grinning like an idiot. "Hey, your food's falling out of your mouth, you know." "You've taken a liking to androids, haven't you?" asks Dr. Gears. "So you're calling off this little war of ours?" "More like a temporary truce," I reply. "Good enough," says Dr. Gears. "Androids are simply amazing, you know. They're truly the greatest invention that science has delivered since the beginning of mankind." Oh, this guy is an android con? A robocon? Does he have them tuck him in at night? From under the covers with him? "There are quite a few types," says Dr. Gears. "My favorite is the maid model. They take care of all the chores and really know how to cook. On top of that, the female ones are all pretty cute. Sometimes I find myself admiring their beauty." "I bet you do." "You've got one sick, twisted mind, Gears," I say. "Tisk, tisk," says Dr. Gears. "Don't you know that people can achieve inner peace with beauty? It's been proven by science, you know," he says, adjusting his glasses. I shake my head wearily. I do admire his enthusiasm over something so petty. Really. "Look," I say, "it's what's on the inside that counts. The most advanced technology is on the inside." "What are you talking about?" says Dr. Gears. "Appearances don't matter," I say. "It's still a crummy, stupid robot." Here's an example using people. Let's say there's a person with a pretty face, but he's a man. Does the fact that he's got a womanly face change anything? No, he's ultimately a man. Oh, shots fired. Shots fired. Just gonna leave it at that. God bless the Japanese. Likewise, even if I see a beautiful android, since it's ultimately a robot, its aesthetics don't matter anymore. It just becomes an illusion. Now, here's the thing. He's not entirely wrong. It is the illusion of a pretty human girl, but it's not human. That doesn't mean it isn't still a pretty android girl. It just means you need to adjust your expectations. What is it you actually want? If you want a human girl, you're going to be unsatisfied with an android girl. Of course. And, I was going to say no, there's no shame in that, but of course not. It's like, well, whatever floats your boat. It's, doesn't bother me a bit. You want what you want. Fair enough. But if you expect an android girl and you find that aesthetic appealing, then there's no disappointment because expectation aligns with reality. What I'm trying to say is that even if a robot acts like a person, it's not. Therefore, all robots are the same to me, and I dislike them all. Of course, none of that was spoken out loud to Dr. Gears because we're not really having a conversation with a person here. We're just putting words on the screen. Dr. Gears says, "I guess you still haven't changed your mind. But there has to be a reason why you brought it up again. Normally, you would never talk about it." "Well, yeah," I say. "Ho ho," he says. "If you're looking to buy one, I'm here for you, man. I'll make sure to fill you in on everything you need to know. I'm telling you, you'll be making the greatest purchase of your life." In response, I rub my cheeks in embarrassment. Is that a thing? I'm having a hard time even visualizing that image. What the hell is this guy talking about? I say, I'm not exactly looking to buy one. Could it be that you're worried about the price, my friend? Asks Dr. Gears. Don't worry. I have some connections that will let you have one dirt cheap. As long as I'm with you, there won't be any problems. No, I say, it's not that. There's no need to buy one. Now, just what do you mean by that? Asks Dr. Gears. Fidgeting awkwardly, I wonder if I should tell everything. I found one somewhere, I say, vaguely. Found what? Says Dr. Gears. An android, I say. He looks surprised. You found an android? He says. Yeah, I say. Where? He asks. At the junkyard, I reply. Holy, you lucky bastard, he says. Is it something like an IDX 358 or 455? What model is it? It's something that starts with a P, I say. I can't really remember. Someone told me it's a pretty recent model, but I haven't seen anything impressive yet. Might as well give it some time, though. It was free after all. Says Dr. Gears. Now you've made me curious. I'll be sure to pay you a visit soon. He pauses for a moment before continuing, as if he's trying to change the subject. Well, I'm certainly happy that you've taken an interest in androids, but... But what? I say. But you should be careful, he says. About what? I ask. You've seen them on TV, right? He says. People who are obsessed with androids. They say it gets really tough to deal with as time goes on. Robots are robots. Humans are humans. You should never forget this boundary between them. Robots are merely tools designed to make our lives easier. Nothing more, nothing less. So, me being struck by lightning is more likely, I say. Fall in love with a robot. That's just crazy. I know, he says. Of course, I don't expect that to happen to you, of all people. But, better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry, he repeats. All right, already, I say. I'll keep it in mind. He nods in response. Sounds like the end of the day. Before I knew it, the day's last class finally came. At last, another monotonous day of school was coming to a close. But it felt like this lecture was lasting an eternity. It was like I was stuck in molasses. The chalkboard was filled with scribbles that were barely decipherable, making it very hard to understand the lesson, which was painful enough already. Ugh, I say out loud. Before the teacher immediately said, "Shut up," because you don't do that in class. You don't interrupt the teacher. I can't take it anymore. The teacher is also awful at explaining things. His words go through one ear and right out the other. In one ear and out the other. Oh my God, every idiom. They're packing it full. Unable to hold back the incoming fatigue, I let out a small yawn. And glancing around, it looked like no one else was doing much better. All these mediocre teachers had one thing in common. Their teaching method was always way too convoluted. A bunch of rotten snobs, that's what they were. Not like this human-debated robot snob. And yet, time marched on. The teacher's dreadful onslaught of words ultimately came to an end. Watching a politician's speech would be riveting by comparison. All that was left now, all that is left now is to go home. God, back and forth between everything was present tense, and I tried to make it past tense, but I can't. Finally, it was time to go home. Let's say that. Time to get out of this place. I packed my belongings hurriedly, waving goodbye to Dr. Gears as I started to head home. How about not starting to head home and just heading home? Here we are back on Downtown Street. On the way, I suddenly realized something. I'd nearly forgotten about the android and almost ended up heading straight home. I doubled back towards the repair shop. Arriving, I peeked through the windows. The place wasn't too busy, but there was no sign of the repairman. I wasted no more time and headed right in.
Antique shop へようこそ。何かお探しですか?
A voice I did not recognize said, "Welcome to the antique shop." Soon as I set foot inside, I was immediately greeted by a female staff. The voice had a sweet, vibrant texture. It's Lucy. It's Lucy. She's fixed. It really caught me off guard. I'd never expected a girl to be manning the store. I guess she was a part-timer. I turned around to face the person calling out to me. And my jaw dropped to the floor. "You," I said. Her face lit up when she finally recognized me. There she is. Look at her, all clean and cute looking.
やっと来てくれたんですね、マスター。
Master is
首を
finally
長くして
here.
待っておりました。
Lucy has been waiting all day long. Here's what I want from androids. I want a pleasant tone in a nice female register, and I want that enthusiasm that they're just happy to see me. Now, I want that from a real person too, but that's what I want in my robots. That just nails it. Come on. Who doesn't want that? It was the android named Lucy Valentine who had greeted me at the door. Were my eyes playing tricks on me? There was no way, and the cat's in the way, there was no way that useless thing could be standing here talking to me. What was with that smile? I did a double take. You're Lucy, right?
はい、そうですよ。ルーシーは他で
Yes,
もない。
none
ルーシ
other
ーです。
than Lucy Valentine, she says. Well, I guess that settled it. How, I ask, how did you end up like this?
はい、マスター。どうなっているかと言いますと、
What are you asking, Master? That voice, I say, and your face. And you're standing on your own, right?
はい、もちろんです、マスター。
She says, yes, of course, Master. And he asked that question like he didn't take her to the repair shop to get fixed. I can't with this game. Oh my God. What is even happening?
ルーシーは今、2本足で立っているん
Lucy
で
is
す。
standing on her own 2 feet. Lucy puffs up her chest, looking proud. Hurt. Perky, perhaps. I mean, that's not really something to be proud of, but thinking back to how she was before, it was pretty impressive. You do look better now, I say. So there's nothing wrong with you anymore?
はい、マスター。今のルーシーは
Yes,
体が
Master.
軽く、
Lucy
すぐに
feels
でも
like she
飛べ
could
そうなくらい
soar
です
through the
よ。
skies. For emphasis, she spun in place like an excited ballerina. She had the appearance of a mature, well-pampered maiden, yet at the same time looked like a silly child. And fell over. Her spin abruptly ended as she crashed to the floor, not programmed to imitate ballerina movements. And there went my peace of mind.
まだ元通りにはなってないみた
Ha
い
ha ha,
ですね。
she says, still not back to normal, it seems. Is that normally something she's supposed to be able to do? Or is she just a little too exuberant? Which is cute, even if she falls over. But she's also an expensive piece of electronics. We don't want her getting hurt. Lucy smiled sheepishly. Well, I was at a loss for words. That deceptively human voice. Her vibrant personality full of such emotion. Her face displaying all manner of expressions. Each movement bursting with spirited passion. To say that I was amazed would be a gross understatement. My brain had turned to mush. I couldn't utter a single word. I wouldn't show it on the outside, but because it's weakness to lose control of your emotions. Well, that, plus I didn't want to admit to her that I was surprised. That is one heck of a change in just a few hours, I say.
初めてマスターに褒めてもらいました。
Haha, Lucy's first compliment from Master. That makes Lucy very happy. Well, I say, I'm really complimenting the guy who fixed you up, of course.
そんな。
Oh no, she says. That's impossible. It's not impossible, it's just disappointing. The word you're looking for is disappointing. The look of disappointment on her face was quite surreal. How could I possibly explain this? Magic? Had she been enchanted by a witch? Yes, magic is the most likely explanation, although I will say magic is also the correct explanation. I'm just throwing it out there. Old childhood stories sprung to mind. The nine-tailed fox who desired to become human. Aha, updated for modern fairy tales in the android form. Recalling Grimm's tales of the little wooden boy who wanted to become human. The Little Mermaid who also wished to become human. What happened to them? Oh, I think they all ended tragically, because Grimm's fairy tales were not the Disney version you've been told. And if you don't know that, go read the originals. They're messed up. Actually, someday I may get around to writing a wizard's guide to Grimm's fairy tales, and we'll talk about that. Let's just say they did not get a happy ending. Indeed. That's why they talk about Disneyfying traditional folk tales. Folk tales were never meant to be pleasant. They were meant to impart information. And a lot of that information was, the world's a pretty messed up place and you better be careful or bad things will happen to you. That's what we wanted children to understand. And instead we fill their heads with the idea that things are supposed to have a happy ending, when really most things are going to be pretty miserable, punctuated by episodes of joy, and you live for those moments. Continuing, but this robot made me think, if that Little Mermaid's wish ever came true, wouldn't she be celebrating just like this? But again, I said nothing. Enough of this claptrap. Who talks like this? Absolutely no one. Not a single Japanese high schooler. Back to the matter at hand, which was, where was the repairman? Oh, she murdered him and stuffed him in a box in the back. I say to Lucy, what happened to that guy who put you in charge?
はい。店長さんは
She replies,
必要な物
the
資を
owner
調達
left
す
a
るた
while
めに
ago to go
出か
shop
けてい
for
ます。
parts. I say, he's not here? What about his store?
お店は立派な店員が代わりに
Hey,
当番
says
していま
Lucy,
す。
an excellent assistant is currently on duty. Yeah, but I'm here to pick you up and take you away, so what do we do about that? An assistant, I say. Where? Because I'm a complete moron.
あはん、あはん。
Ho ho, foo foo foo, she says. Me. So where is this assistant? Says literally the thickest brick in the pile.
あはん、あはん。
She once again clears her throat, which is completely unnecessary for a robot to do, thus very clearly signaling, talking about me. I don't see anyone, he says. Is he messing with her at this point? Are we meant to understand he's messing with her, and why would he mess with her? Yeah, that look at her face. She's like, "Are you really this dumb?" Well, that sure took the wind out of her sails. Oh, he was just being an asshole for no reason. Wonderful. She's having more highs and lows than a bipolar patient. Ah, that's awful. That is literally an accurate reference, but Jesus, it would only be rapid cycling. Bipolar, but still. Feeling bad for her, I decide to drop the act. Okay, he was messing with her to inflict sadness upon her. He wanted to see her expression of disappointment. Is this guy a robo-sadist? What is wrong with this guy? Okay, he says. Well, I say, I get it. You're the one in charge for the time being.
そうですマスター
Yes, that is correct, Master. Lucy is the one in charge. Now, here's the thing. She's not referring to herself as Lucy because she's a robot. That's actually how the Japanese talk. If I were to go... If it were me, I would say, yes, that is correct, Master. Ben is the one in charge. I would not say me or I. I think there's actually no word in Japanese for me, I, you. There's no pronouns of that kind. Very interesting cultural thing. Usually it is meant to be implied. They will say this person, that person, or they will refer to themselves by name. Fascinating cultural artifact, is it not? And as they say, the words you know or the words you are allowed to use kind of dictate how you think about things. Very interesting the way Japanese compose their written and verbal language as well. It's got a kind of order of importance to it. Or describing the place... I'm going to screw this up. Doesn't matter. Lucy is in charge, yes. She sure bounced back fast. Well, why not just let her be happy? Why you gotta burst her bubble, you bastard? Moreover, what's the deal with that repairman? Leaving Lucy to take care of the store on the first day he met her? Well, do you think he can't trust her? If he gives her a command, she'll follow it. That said, he did know her master was coming back. Did he leave her with any instructions about what to do? And is it reasonable for him to expect she would follow them if her master shows up and says, we're leaving? No, you're not running the shop anymore. To such a ditzy robot, she's perfectly pleasant, and you haven't asked her if something can be repaired. Maybe she's been instructed to fill out a receipt and said to leave the item with her. God, this guy's the most incurious jerk. You'd have to be a few shards short of a deck, a few cards short of a deck, to think this was a smart idea.
Master?
Hello, she says. What could Master be thinking about? I'm not thinking about anything, I say. And you can stop calling me Master all the time. Don't stop calling me Master. Don't stop calling me Master.
でも、マスターはマスター
But
で
Master is Lucy's master, she says. Use my name instead, I say.
でも、ルーシーはマスター
But
の名
Lucy
前を知
doesn't
り
know
ま
what
せん。
Master's name is.
これを機に教えてくだ
Please
さい。
take this opportunity to teach her now. True. I did botch it last time. Let's run through the choices. Please enter a name. I'm gonna have her call me Benjamin. Will she call me Benjamin? Let's see what we get out of this. Benjamin? Oh, she doesn't say it? Come on, make her say it. Say my name. Call me Master. I have an even better name. What? The name's Mr. Handsome. Oh, really? That's what we're going with? I mean, it's not inaccurate. I would say it's essentially a synonym.
マスター、そんな嘘は通じません。
Look at that sick burn. Lucy says, Master mustn't lie like that. Oh, good for her.
他人を騙すなんてよ
It's
くな
bad
い
to
です。
trick other people.
嘘は罪です。
Lying is evil. Oh, I like this girl. Okay, now the writing's picking up. So you're telling me I'm ugly, I say.
いえいえいえいえ。
Oh, no.
そういう意味
Lucy
で言っ
never
たわ
meant
け
it
では。
that way.
ミスで
It's
す。
a mistake.
ミス。
A mistake. She curls up instinctively, thinking she might be scolded for messing up.
そうでなくて。
Master
名前に
shouldn't lie
嘘を
about
つい
his
たらダメ
name.
ってこと
Oh,
です。
that's what she meant. I wanted her to mean the other one. Don't lie about being ugly.
本当の名前を教えてください。
Please tell Lucy Master's real name. Really, I say. Why do you think I'm pulling your leg?
さっき名前を入力しているのを見ま
Lucy
した
saw Master put his name in a while ago. Okay. Shh. Wait a minute. We're getting like Inception's level of meta here. She saw me put in her name? Am I the Master? And I'm talking me. The Benjamin me. What is going on here? Are we gonna break the fourth wall on this game? Is she actually gonna start talking to the person behind the character? I do like it when that happens. Oh, come on. Even the game is working against me. Okay, there's a little fourth wall nod. Forget it, I say. Just call me Master.
はい、マスター。
That's right.
マスター、
Yes, Lucy?
マスタ
What do you want?
ー。なんとなく呼んでみました。
Lucy just wanted to say it. Oh, ain't she a peach? Are you messing with me? I wish she was. I don't think she's programmed to be that clever. Maybe she'll get around to it. Maybe she is, actually. Maybe she liked that little plausible deniability of, you ugly boy.
いえいえ、めっそうも
No,
ござい
of
ません。
course not, she says. I bet she was programmed to say that.
マスターと呼べる方がいて、
Lucy is
とっ
just
ても
very
嬉しい
happy
です。
to have someone to call Master.
だから、なん
That's
と
why
な
she
く呼ん
wanted
で
to say
み
it.
ました。
You gotta love the Japanese. This is the absolute essence of kawaii. Look at this girl. She's just happy to call me Master. Not half as happy as I am to hear it. She cracks a wide smile. If she were human, I'd think she was on drugs. Look at this guy. For a robot, maybe she's still got a screw loose. Or her programming's corrupted. Whatever the case, I just can't get a bead on her. Where's that stupid repairman? Speak of the devil, here he comes, right? Ten minutes later, the man in question finally shows up. As soon as we lock eyes, the guy makes a beeline towards me and nearly bowls me over as he pleads. "Please let me have Lucy," he says in very loud text. What kind of screwed up situation is this? It's like he's asking for my daughter's hand in marriage. I shoot back, "No, I will not let you marry her," I say. "What?" says the repairman. "What are you talking about? Are you high or something?" I say, "That's my line. What do you think you're doing?" The owner takes some time Wow, I thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye. The owner takes time to collect himself. I guess they mean the repair shop owner. And then he says, maybe I got a bit carried away. Kid, how about I pawn that android off you? Buy it off you. You pawn something off onto someone else. You don't... Wow. Now, why am I not surprised? You want me to sell her, I ask. Yeah, he says. Look, I can give you this much. He takes out his calculator and shows me the figures. My mind goes numb for about 5 seconds. Are you serious? I ask. He says, of course I am. What do you think? Not a bad deal for a student, right? He says, that's a ton of dough, even for an adult. With the state this place is in, I don't think he has that kind of capital. He's obviously desperate. I stare at Lucy in silence. The android is frozen like a statue. That face of hers almost looks sad. Like a slave about to be sold off at auction. That's also a mixed metaphor. If we're talking about a real human slave, they would be sad about being a slave. I don't think they'd be sad about being sold from one master to another. Most humans don't want to be a slave. You can program a robot to be happy about it. Not with people, it's more difficult. I was going to say not so with people, but you can actually program people. It is unethical and possibly psychosis-inducing, but you can do it. This is not legal advice. Well, maybe that's a bit extreme. You think? He's not about to eat you alive or anything. That's not the point. She obviously doesn't want to be sold because she wants to stay with Master. I turn back to face the repairman. You'd really pay this much? I ask him. You really think Lucy is worth that kind of money? Of course, he shouts in extremely loud font. He yells in excitement. Jeez. Deafened much? Wow. That's not even the proper use of that I'm at a loss for words. Deafening much, but that's not it. Shout much is the proper use of that. Now that's even that goes back to the 90s, doesn't it? This is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I'm dying of secondhand cringe having to read this dialogue. Oh my God. The repairman says, listen carefully. Any decently priced robot model comes with an AI or a module that allows them to mimic human emotions. You know this much, right? Sure, I say. Well, creating such a module is an incredibly complex process. Even then, do you know how well they perform? Compared to a real person, they're still a long ways off, right? Right, says the repairman. Even cutting edge, their mimicking emotion is their mimicry of emotion is rudimentary at best. We're still not at the stage where it's considered genuine. I think I'm starting to see the picture here, I say. Looking back at Lucy, I start to put together what he's trying to tell me. You're a sharp one, says the repairman. He's really not. He's really not a sharp one. Oh my God. He's not just dull. I think he's slightly concave. Teaching kids pretty well these days, he says. So you savvy what I'm saying? Was this written after Pirates of the Caribbean came out? Because no one says savvy. They might say someone is savvy, but they do not use savvy as a verb for understanding. They just don't. All right, we're gonna save it again. Oh, you know what we should do? I should quit. I should stop. I'm gonna burn out my throat, and I'm gonna come back tomorrow and not be able to continue. We're gonna leave it at the moment of indecision, and I'm gonna let you all consider how we should answer tomorrow. when you absolutely join us on the next episode. Number 1, Lucy is actually a person disguised as a robot. I'm going to pick that answer. I swear. At least I'm going to pick it just to see what happens. Equally good, though. I think it's hard to tell the difference. Lucy is actually a princess under a spell. Here's the thing. I think that is actually the true answer. Now, it's not the logical answer. The logical answer in the context of everything we know is number 3. Lucy is an exceptionally well-made robot. However, that does not preclude the truth of number 2. I think both 1 and 2 are true. But number 2 and 3 are true. But number 2 is actually the most true because it encompasses number 3. She is an exceptionally well-made robot, which makes her actually a princess under a spell. And how do we break that spell? With true love's kiss. But to find out what actually happens, you're going to have to come back tomorrow, because that brings us to the end of this episode of DreamWizard Plays. Number 821, Lucy, the Eternity She Wished For. From 2016, the 10th anniversary playthrough. Part 1. On your way out, please remember, if I made you laugh, if I made you cry, if you want to find out what happens when robots learn to fly, doesn't make any sense, but it rhymes, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and join us tomorrow, Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the next thrilling adventure into Lucy, the Eternity She Wished For. In the meantime, in-between time, there we go. Let's close that out. I am the DreamWizard. Oh, end the game. Yes. Why does it do that? I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you tomorrow. It says you've played for 3 hours. Would you recommend? Yes, but I'm not writing a review. I'm just not, because I don't have a review to write yet. I need to finish a game before I would write a review. I mean, the review would be so far so good, I guess. I'm enjoying it for what it is. It is very much a, this is so bad, it's amazing type of thing. Lee says, later, Lee. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Yes. In the meantime, in between time, I am the DreamWizard. I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you tomorrow. In the meantime, in between time, I already did that. Until then, my friends, that's what I say. I have too many words in my head, and I'm going to stop talking for the rest of the day. No, it's a lie. I'm going to go talk to Grok. I got to save my voice for writing my novel. So anyway, let's hope my voice doesn't give out by tomorrow. Until then, my friends, this cat is, every time I gesture, he's trying to eat my fingers. Good night, everybody.